Hello.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
I'm great.
Wonderful. So welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of EdTech Live. I am one of your hosts, Ryan McLaughlin, and I am joined by the wonderful Tammy Ferguson. Now, I know all of you are in your homes right now. Guess what? So are we. So our EdTech Live is a little different this time. So we're not all in our technology lab like we usually are. We are all spread out all over the Houston area. So just letting you know, this is a little different for us, but we completely believe that even with all the craziness going on, we still want to bring you guys quality professional learning opportunities. Now, with that being said, there are some things that are out of our control. For instance, I have two four-legged coworkers who don't necessarily understand the whole idea of like, shh, I'm doing this right now. So I sincerely apologize if you hear dogs barking every now and then. Sorry. Today, though, we have some great sessions lined up for you guys. We have 3 sessions. The first one is going to be about Flipgrid and all the cool things that you might not know about just yet. And then we're going to jump into some game-based learning strategies. And last but not least, we have Tommy's Tech Tools from the one and only Tom Spall from Brenham ISD. Now, this is a live event. So in the YouTube chat, please feel free to type in any questions that you have for our presenters. Our team is working really hard to relay those messages to our presenters so you can leave here knowing exactly what you want to know. If you're viewing this on your phone, scroll all the way down below the video, and that's where you're going to find the chat.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share with you how you can use your live stream to help you learn. And it sounds like here we are. Okay, is my mic all good?
You're good, Miss Ferguson.
Awesome. Okay, so here's our live stream, and this is us right now. And I'm going to wave, and there's a little delay. And what that means is that we are going to be having our image occur first, and then there's like a 30-second delay. So you'll see me wave in just a moment. But here's the cool thing about live stream. You can pause it. Check that out. I just paused it. Wow, we are frozen in time now. And that means that if I really needed to as an audience, like you can go take care of your kids, because I'm sure instead of dogs, you might have cats and kids running around. So all of that can be taken care of. You just pause it and you can come back. So once you put all those little fires, come back and come join us. Here's the other thing you can do. Even during the live stream, you can actually back us up. So if you want to hear something again, absolutely go ahead and do that. In addition to that, it means that because you backed us up, you're going to be a little bit behind us. That's okay. You will just continue plugging along until the end of the event, and you'll just eventually end when you end, and that's okay. Now, here's the other cool thing. Even in live events, as long as you're running a little bit behind us, you can change the playback speed. And the playback speed can be doubled. So if you don't mind listening to gerbils and high-pitched voices, you can double our speed. But if you're one of those people that you just got to hear that again and see it in slow-mo, you can slow it down. How cool is that? That even in a live mode, you can do that. Now, in addition to that, I know the internet's a big issue right now with all of our, every kid on planet Earth right now is clogging up the internet. And I know they're all doing schoolwork, right? So you can actually change it to a lower resolution down here. 360 and 240 are really good for visibility, especially on small screens. So you can change that resolution, and that allows you to be able to watch this without all the buffering. But if you have like super high speed internet and you're all good to go, the default up here is just fine. So those are some things that you can do to make this experience match what your needs are. So I'm going to stop sharing and give it back to you, Ryan. It's all yours.
Okay, so also, in addition to the YouTube chat, we also have Twitter challenges going on. Our first Twitter challenge is happening now. Miss Ferguson, do you have there? Yep, that.
There it is. So if you are interested in participating in this Twitter challenge, we would love to have you. So here's the first Twitter challenge. You're going to go to at Sci-Fair EdTech. There it is, right above me, right there. That's where you're going to go. That's us. This is your hashtag that you're going to put in there. Now, if you're not a Twitter fan, I'd like to encourage you to maybe think about Twitter as an option. I really wasn't a Twitter fan for a long time. I was like, oh my gosh, why would I go to social media for the news? My friends and family aren't really on there. I don't really need Twitter. But I have been schooled, really. And what I have found is that Twitter is a great place for educators to go and learn about new ideas, emerging ideas, and just ideas of how to make things that they already do in the class better. It's also an affirmation. If you're one of those trailblazers and you don't know if you're on the right track, sometimes Twitter helps you see that maybe you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, even if other people around you aren't. And that's kind of a good pat on the back when you're doing what you think that you should be, and you can see others are doing that. So if you haven't made it to Twitter, join us, follow us. We'd love to have you and check out what you're up to as well. So we have some excellent sessions. So what's up first, Ryan?
Well, make sure, because we're going to be watching all these awesome sessions, make sure you get credit. So in order to get credit for these sessions, in order to get that certificate that says, yes, I was there, because we all know credit is super important. We need those hours, right? So for our session attendance verification, here's our bit.ly. So make sure you type in that bit.ly, fill out the form, and you should, once you hit submit, you should receive a receipt within about 15 minutes of hitting that submit button. If you don't receive that receipt, that means that one thing probably was incorrect, and that would be your email. So please, when you're filling out this form, make sure that you are entering your email correctly. Now, we will be issuing credit for our Sci-Fair ISD people within the next few days. And if you're not from Sci-Fair ISD, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. We will be issuing you guys credit. We'll be sending y'all the certificate within the next few days after this event ends. So jumping right into our first awesome session, we have Jess Boyce, who is an educator innovation at Flipgrid. Like, she works at Flipgrid. This is awesome. I'm excited. And she's partnering with our very own Manny Curiel. He is one of our educational technology specialists right here in Sci-Fair ISD. We're going to hand it off to the amazing Jess and Boyce, and Jess and Manny, and we're going to learn some awesome things about Flipgrid. Take it away, guys.
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
I hear you. I just don't see you.
I don't know. I can see me.
So good. How are we not going to see Jess? She is just amazing. I don't know. Somebody can help us with that, but I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're going to get it started. Well, before I do that, I'm Manny, and oh, there you go. Somebody did it for me. I'm one of the tech coaches, the EdTech coaches here in Sci-Fair. I'm super excited about Flipgrid. OMG, they keep coming with new things monthly.
We gotta keep you on your toes.
On the YouTube feed, I can see you, so it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
I'm looking at two things, multitasking. So I keep telling, like, oh my gosh, another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And like, could you please stop releasing new updates so I can just stop editing the slides? So there was 3 things that I have to keep changing. But super excited to have Jess and myself present, right?
Absolutely. So something that's been really cool is we are constantly listening as a team to what it is that educators are asking for. And so all of our updates are based on what we hear the community, what they want, especially so as we've been transitioning to remote learning and we're all in this weird space of education looks completely different than it ever has been. We've just been trying to pump out the updates to make sure that everyone has what they need. So I know it's hard for you because then you have to constantly be updating your site and training people, but we just want to make sure that everyone has exactly what they need in order to be serving their students in the best way possible.
But it's super cool just because, oh my gosh, the new updates, they're just so cool. So now that I know that, even though I'm just looking at myself on the YouTube feed, we can see each other, or that people can see both of us.
Excellent.
Okay, so this is the first time I do this like this.
Me
So,
too. We're all
just know.
learning together.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and you probably saw that I was sharing my website because this and computer audio, because then somebody's gonna tell me, Annie, you're not sharing with audio.
You. I'm proud of you for remembering.
Alrighty, so this is where you're gonna go. This is my website. I'm gonna give you the bit.ly to specifically where I need to go. So presentations, and then this is the actual link. So the bit.ly, Jess, hyphen, then me, hyphen, Flipgrid. And it will take you exactly where you are right now.
Perfect.
All right, and this is the Flipgrid you don't know about, because OMG, it feels like I don't know Flipgrid anymore. It has changed so much. It looks amazing, but it keeps changing, which is good. Anyway, it keeps getting better, right? I always say it's easy, even though it seems that it's changing. I always remember when you guys said in Flipgrid, if it's not easy, we're not doing it.
Exactly right.
And it's
we want
just
to make sure that, you know, there's so many tools that are there all the time, you know, and as an educator, it's easy to get bombarded. So we want to make sure that we have it be as simple as possible for everybody.
Yeah, so I think we were introduced already, and I had it in the first slide.
Yeah. I'll go. So my name is Jess, and I am an educator innovation lead over at Team Flipgrid. I am a former middle school math teacher. So I actually taught math for 10 years, and I was using Flipgrid in my classroom and just absolutely fell in love with it. Was just so impressed with the way that my students were able to articulate their thinking, and it became this thing that when I had also fallen in love with teaching teachers and presenting at conferences and such. And so I had this point where I realized I was ready to leave the classroom and move on. And it was a no-brainer of where I needed to go, because Flipgrid was something that I was so passionate about, and I had seen such a direct correlation of how it could impact my students that I had to be a part of the team so that I could help more students by helping more teachers. A fun fact about me is that I am a huge football fan. Go Steelers, which I know I probably shouldn't say when we're talking to Texas, but that's okay. At least it's Houston and not Dallas, so we should be all right with that. But huge football fan. That's born and raised in Pittsburgh, and I live in Florida now, but that's always will be my team.
She also starred in the Lock and Key show in Netflix.
Oh my gosh, I did not.
I know you did not.
Manny thinks of the person that stars and it looks like me, but
yeah, a little bit. You just need the glasses on your head.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I'm just Manny. I'm part of the board member on Flipgrid, and I'm super nice. But I'm not as important as Jess. She has like all these titles and stuff.
Oh, please. You're very important. You keep Sci-Fair rolling. So.
Thank you. Well, this is not an intro to Flipgrid. I have this very short video just because I always talk to people about student voice, and it's not just about listening to what the students are thinking. This video, have you seen this video?
I have.
It's pretty cool. Like she Holly divides it into 3 different sections into what is it that student voice is, and let's hear it. It's only a minute and a half.
So student voice is becoming a very important topic in 2018-19, the school year, and I find that student voice is more than just hearing from students, and that it has 3 components. And one of the components is, of course, hearing from every kid in our class, knowing when they know something and when they don't, and being able to change our instruction in real time to meet their needs. And that's student voice, but that's just one component. Another component of student voice is this idea that students need to understand who they are as learners, where their passions are, how they learn best, and use that and that understanding to make formative choices. So people talk about student voice and choice, but we kind of skip something when we just say make a choice without giving them the opportunity to understand and formulate some background knowledge behind that choice. And then the final thing is in voice is students being able to demonstrate how they learn something. So it doesn't mean that they have to answer multiple choice questions. They might be demonstrating it using a video reflection or something that they know works with their learning style and that they can keep and improve on next time and keep learning from. So for me, that student voice that we are all talking about is threefold. And I think that needs to be part of the conversation that all educators are kind of talking about, and not just throwing around student voice, student voice. It needs to really be an understanding of what is student voice.
Student voice. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, she's wonderful. So if you all aren't familiar with Holly Clark, she's a former educator. Well, she still does teach, and she writes tons of books. So she has the Google Infused Classroom, she has the Microsoft Infused Classroom, but her big thing is pedagogy first and then technology second. So she's often talking about that. And I think that her video right there talking about student voice really does speak to where the heart of Flipgrid is, that it's not necessarily about the product, it's about the kids. And it's about them being empowered and able to share their voice in multiple ways, whatever that may look like. And so it's an honor for us to be able to have this platform that enables students to do so.
Yeah, I think what the cool thing about Flipgrid is you can also like app smash, like go do an image or a video somewhere else and then upload it into Flipgrid, like record an intro video and then put your link there, because that's what she was saying, like whatever you're comfortable, go and produce that product that your teacher is like, I need you to prove that you understand the concept. Go do it in whatever app you want. And then with that link, you upload it into Flipgrid and everybody learns from each other, which is, I think that is like the most powerful thing that Flipgrid has, because students are learning from students. The audience, it just changes rather than just the teacher being the only person that sees that product.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. So student voice and some updates, which is the whole point about why you're here, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to share.
So disclaimer, the first one we're going to talk about is the Shorts camera, which is not necessarily new, but I think some of the teachers don't exactly know all the features because there's so many.
Yeah, it came out in August, so it's not new per se. However, it's one of those things that people miss a lot, and I think it's really awesome, so important to share.
So the Shorts camera also has a tab on the very top of the educator dashboard. And I was telling Jess, I have 0 videos there.
It's embarrassing.
So we're going to create one. So see, like if I don't have any videos, I'm sure teachers are not going to have, not necessarily, familiar with the Shorts. So here it is. This is your teacher dashboard. So at the very top, you have this one that says Shorts.
Yeah, and so with the Shorts camera, we like to say that you can create here and share anywhere. So it's a little bit different from your regular grid where you might have the topic focus, but this is actually a space where you're not requiring any responses from students or anything, but you're actually just recording a video that you can then showcase wherever you'd like. So we've seen a lot of educators use it to duplicate themselves, especially in stations in their classroom. Even it's funny because elementary school teachers say this. I know, Amanda, you had little ones, but I felt this way with middle school as well, that you would give the directions and then 10 seconds later, there's 10 kids that are like, wait, what are we supposed to do? Right? They never fully grasp what the directions are the first time. So Shorts is a really great way to record yourself having the saying the directions and then have it posted around the room, and they can just scan it and watch the video and then hear the directions as many times as you want. So that's my favorite use of it.
Yeah, so let me disable my camera.
Yep.
You taught me that trick. I'm like, we're not going to be able to do it live. I'm like, nope, just disable your camera. So I turn my camera off and I just click start record a short. And you should be familiar with, let me see if it's loading. Yeah, it is. There it is. This is me without the background.
Yeah, so it's the same camera.
So it's just the camera, and then you have all these features right here. I'm waiting for this feed to load to make sure that that you can see me. That's why I have YouTube next to my computer. So you should be familiar with this menu. Just this is the backgrounds that you can change. Yeah, you can. Awesome. Text, the stickers. This stickers are already included in Flipgrid, because you also, well, you can draw, you can change the board, but this stickers, you can upload any pictures, right?
Manny, have you seen the new stickers, the arrows?
Yeah.
Speaking of
adding
updates,
more things.
sorry, I didn't mean to spring one on you.
No,
But,
tell me.
so in these stickers, everyone, there's a full emoji keyboard, but down at the bottom, there's there's people and there's hats and glasses and fun things. But I believe it's under the crystal ball.
And the magic?
Maybe not. No, maybe not. Try the hands. Let's see where.
Oh, this one. Yeah, the arrows.
Yeah. So these
saw a
new
tweet
funky
about it.
arrows
This
that just came out.
It's so cool. Yes, you're right.
So think
I'm
about
telling
like
you, there's
doing
so
the
many
water
things.
cycle or something and having all these fun arrows. So we've got a pretty great set of designers that are constantly working on new stickers. So those just came out this week or last week.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, no, I don't know the new stickers, but yes, I do.
Perfect.
So anyway, so this is the same camera that you will see when you're recording in Flipgrid, but it's separate just because Jess said like you're not gonna have any responses. This is just to create a video. So I can start recording here, and I can say, well, let's start recording. Hi guys, I'm going to show you how you're going to add disco balls. Why? Because why not?
Because learning is a party.
Yeah, there you go. Literally, it's a party. Then I click next.
Hi guys, I'm going to show you how you're going to add disco balls. Why? Because why not?
Learning is a party.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, then I'm going to add more. And then this time, I am going to add some stickers. So I'm going to go into my computer files and find my disco ball, which is right here on my downloads. So I'm going to insert, and I'm going to make it smaller because it's ginormous. And I want to have one disco ball. So look like it's just like an object. And I need more than one because I need to add. So you can technically have an image and just upload it as a sticker, right?
Absolutely. Any image that you want. So photos, or if you have students that are doing a report on Abraham Lincoln and they Google a picture of him, they can add in the picture and be talking to him while he's on the screen or different things like that. So any image that's saved to your computer.
So I think I'm gonna move. So just pretend that I'm here. Or maybe I should do this like that. Maybe I need to make it smaller, but anyways, you get the point. So now that I have my stickers, now I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to move it a little bit so you guys can see me. So we have two disco balls, and I'm going to add one more disco ball. We have, oh, see, I don't even know my right to left. It's backwards. So I can say I have 2 disco balls, and I want to add one more disco balls. And in total, I have how many? 3. Let's count to go like 1, 2, and 3. 3 disco balls. I click next.
Hi guys, I'm going to show you.
Notice that I have 2 segments now. So if I want to add more, now I'm going to have to scroll up and then clear it. So my stickers will go away. Then I have this super awesome feature, which is board, and I want to make it Blackboard. And now I go away, and it's just as having a whiteboard, but it's black because it looks better, right? You can change the color of whatever you want the marker to be. And now I'm going to do the annotation. So I can have, I want it white. There you go. 2 plus, and you can, there's no more like, I need, show me your think, oh, I need, you know what? Oops. I need to click record. It did not record. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Now you don't have to tell your students, I need to show me your thinking. Now you can think, you can hear what they're thinking as they're doing the problem. That is just amazing. So I can do the 2 plus 1 equals 3. And I know this is super simple, but you get the idea. Just know that you can annotate with your mouse, with your finger. You can also type using this.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm trying to type.
So this is a fun way too for when students are recording. Of course, we're in the Shorts camera, which is educators only, but students have access to this same camera style. So a lot of times we have students that are camera shy and don't want to have their faces when they're recording. So this is a really nice option as well, that they can almost do like podcast style, that it's a blank screen. They can design it however they want, and then they can share their voice that way, and they feel a lot more confident being able to be behind that screen a little bit.
Yeah, so what I did is I click on the text and then it tells me what kind of font you want. So I failed to select white. That's why I couldn't do it. So you click text and then the color, and then it lets you text, add the text. So notice that now I have 1, 2, 3 different videos. And if I, for some reason, I want to move them, look at this. How cool is that? I can move them around.
There you go. Now,
obviously it wouldn't make sense, but sometimes when you are recording, you change your mind that you can edit.
There you go. Now,
crop it and move them around however you like.
I have a perfect example of that. I was doing a webinar a couple days ago, and I took a deep breath in to say what I wanted to say, and I choked. And so I was coughing in the very beginning of my video. So it was perfect that I was able to go in and trim that piece off. Manny, can you actually click back for a second, because we have a question
there you go. Now,
from someone who is asking about text on their screen. And she's saying that whenever she is moving, when she goes to move the text, it actually disappears, which I'm not sure about. That shouldn't be happening. So I want to put some text on the screen.
Okay.
And then, yes, go ahead and then click on it. So as you click on it, it should receive these little
the white buttons.
And so then whenever you hover over it, you can actually move it around. So she was saying that hers was disappearing whenever that happens. So I'm not sure who the person is that's asking that, but oh, I do see Lisa. If that is still happening, that the text is actually disappearing, I would have you send an email to support@flipgrid.com, because it definitely shouldn't disappear. You should be able to move it around the screen and manipulate it, moving it bigger, smaller, etc. So that might be maybe something with your browser might need to be updated or something of that nature, but you definitely should be able to move it around the screen.
Yeah, so I'm typing, then I click outside, then I click the text again, and that's where you get those little white circles, and I can manipulate the text. I can move it around. I can make it, bigger or smaller. So, yes. Then
thank you.
Awesome. So clear. Maybe take it out and no filter. And look, this is this filter was pixelated. You were talking about kids that are shy. Isn't it cool? This is like OMG amazing.
Yes, the pixel feature.
The pixel, yeah. So if you still want to, I need to see your face, you can kind of, well, if you know me, you know that that's me. You'll know your students, obviously. But that's another way you can have record.
And this is really fun too for if you're doing some kind of like guess, if you want your students to guess the book that you're talking about, and you can hold it near the screen and different things like that. So we've seen lots of fun different things happening with that pixel feature.
Okay, so I'm gonna notice that here is still recording because I can still add content. So if I click next, preview it, I just stop it because I don't want to hear myself. I click next.
Real quick too, while you're on that screen, sorry, we've got questions coming in. So Khalid wants to know if the clips can be combined. So Khalid, the clips, once you hit next, it will be combined into one full video. So as you're watching it, it's not going to be 3 separate clips. But this is just so that you can manipulate it, move it around. So if you did want to have it as one full clip, the only way around that would be that when you finish your video to download it and then redo another video and upload that into it. So then it would take those 3 clips that we have here and make it into one clip, if that makes sense.
And we're going to show how to upload video.
Yeah.
Okay. So click next. Notice that now I don't have a recording, now I have a camera because I am ready to submit. I'm gonna lower it. And I always do this, I'm like, and I have to have a mustache because that's just me. Oh, I didn't even use the arrows, but.
The first time I met Manny, I was shocked to see that he didn't have this big mustache, because every Flipgrid recording he ever does, he uses that sticker on.
Every single time with my students, with teachers, with anything, I always have a mustache.
All right, so we have another question as well, and that's, can you clip a piece from the middle? So Lansing, at the moment, you can only trim from the beginning or the end. But same thing that I mentioned to Khalid, a workaround for that would be to finish your video and then actually upload that piece in, and then you can clip back as much as you want to, and then upload the video again and clip the other direction. So you can kind of take that piece out of the middle, but currently at this point in time, you can only trim from the front and the end. But we update things all the time. Just ask Manny, so you never know.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so once I have this video, do I click and then I can download it? Yep, look at that. Oh my gosh, I can
The
embed
reason
it.
it says preparing the video is because we just did it. So it takes a couple of minutes, but then you'll see that there are tons of share options right here. So you have just a regular link if you want to copy and paste that to wherever you're communicating with your students. You have a QR code. So this is, like I mentioned, whenever educators are doing different, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Oh my goodness, directions, excuse me. It's late in the day here in Florida. It's 5:30. So when they're trying to do directions, you can print the QR code and put it around the classroom, and then students can just scan with the Flipgrid app. But then you'll notice as well that you have the option to download your video, to an embed code, share to Microsoft Teams, to Google Classroom's Remind. So anywhere you are communicating with your students, you really do have that option. Now we get a lot of questions about, well, what about Seesaw or Class Dojo? And exactly what Manny just said, you can take that link and then put that right in there.
Yep, that's just so awesome. So close. You see, and now in at least in SciFair, we're asking teachers to record their lessons to communicate with students. This is another way to do it. Because look, you can share directly with Google Classroom.
Yes,
that is so cool.
So I did get a question just now. Are there devices that Shorts won't work on and it's not allowing her to record on her Samsung tablet? So Elizabeth, the way that mobile browsers work is that they do not let you record unless you are in specific app. And Shorts is not on our app because our app is mostly student-based. So whenever you are using Shorts, you have to be using your desktop because mobile browsers just won't allow recording right there in the browser, unfortunately.
So sad, but it's so cool. But I mean, it works on Chrome and in Windows and Mac and all of that.
But it has to be desktop, yep.
Yeah. All right, this is all MG screen recording.
This is my favorite update that we've had in a long time.
That's just so cool. Like you can literally, instead of going to somewhere else, because that was always my like, I just never told you guys, I don't know why, but yeah, screen recording, like that was so cool.
Yeah, so gone are the days of having to screen record in something else and then upload it into Flipgrid. So we actually finally have it. We're about 2 weeks in now, and it's been a game changer in my opinion. So often I would have my students do like PowerPoint presentations, but I would have them record their presentations and then input them into Flipgrid so that we weren't taking up 3 class periods of them presenting. But I would have to have them use my specific computer so they could use my Screencastify account and do it that way. And it was a little bit cumbersome. So it's great now that this is.
So now you can do it here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking at one of my grids. So this is the grid that I created and I have a topic. When you click on view, you're gonna be able to record. Well, you're gonna see what your students will see. And you're gonna see the same Shorts camera. Well, I have to log in as a student with my credentials. Successful. Okay, so I click on the record a response. Oh, I need to turn my camera off. And you will see the exact same camera that you just saw on the camera Shorts. You see? But now you have the instructions here because this is to record as a topic, right? You will have responses. That's the difference. So when you click this 3 dots, that's where you will see screen recording. And look, you can also add a video clip. This is what I was like, we will cover that. Yeah. So you can add a video clip here if you already have it recorded. You can upload it there. But we're going to talk about screen recording. So
now, important to note with screen recording, it's only available in Microsoft Edge and Chrome. So it will not work on Firefox and Safari.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
I learned that today.
All right, look, I've noticed it's only, you guys are only doing 1:30 for the screen recording?
No, it's because that's what the time set is on your tablet.
That's what you said, you're right. Because the response that I set up on the topic, it is 90 seconds, which is the default. But I can change that on the
Yes, you can change it all the way up to 10 minutes, which is another new update. Yep.
I'll show them how to do it.
Sure.
So if I start recording, like screen recording right here, it's going to tell me, what do you want to record? So I'm going to click, because I only have one, I learned just to have one, one window working. So I share this, and I immediately am going to go into my website, and I can give you like a run through of, you start teaching away or sharing away whatever you're sharing with, either with your teacher or with your classmates, or what you learn or how you feel or whatever it is that the topic it's about. Notice that at the bottom, there's a flipgrid.com is sharing your screen. So obviously, when that's happening, it's recording, and you also see a recording button right here on that tab. So that's where the Flipgrid is, working. Once you are done, you click on the blue stop sharing, and it's going to
my website, and I can give you like a run through of.
And now you can see my recording. Obviously, I don't want to see myself again, but you can see right here in the preview, and I can add more. Look at that. So it works just like the Shorts camera, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God, that's so cool, man. I'm glad we took a few minutes to explaining the Shorts camera, but it is so important, because that is the main thing of Flipgrid, which is recording. So I'm not going to record multiple segments, because we already covered that. But look, you could, if you wanted to. Well, you go back and you add more. But here is just the picture, because for the grid. And I believe you can show select the frame. There you go. If you don't want to show your face, you select the frame, and I'm going to select, I don't know, that one, because it's fun. I click next, and instead of me taking a picture, boom, there you go. Obviously it has to fit the frame here, and I can add annotation or whatever it is that I want, or stickers right here. I click next, and it is submitted. You have now submitted your screen recording, and it's taking some time. It doesn't take this long. It's just because we are in Zoom and all of that. Your students will automatically have their name there, because I always tell them to log in, to create their grids with a student email, because we have emails. Well, they look like emails.
Yeah.
So that is recording your screen. How cool is that?
It's so cool. I'm seriously over the moon excited about that. Manny, I'm going to stop you for a second, because we have a question. Okay. So Lansing said, if I am out somewhere and want to record a Flipgrid for my students, will I have to upload the video later? So I'm not 100% sure what you're asking, Lansing, but you don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi. You can use your phone data in order to record, if that's what you are asking, but you can always record on your phone's native camera, and then you can upload whenever you are on Wi-Fi later.
That's what I do. Whenever I'm with my kids out somewhere, I'll record with my phone, and I have those small snippets. And whenever I go into the Flipgrid, I show you how to upload video. So you upload that video, then it's gonna let you upload another segment. If you want to do segments, or if you want to do one video, you can do that. Because sometimes I don't want to go into like, oh, let me open the Flipgrid app. I would just like, boom, recording, and then I'll upload it into Flipgrid.
Awesome.
It's-
Manny, maybe you can answer this question.
Yes.
So there were a couple questions actually asking the differences between Flipgrid versus Screencastify versus Seesaw.
The layout is very, very different. Like Seesaw looks like Facebook, that it's just a stream. You can record there, but it's not going to show, like on the activities, it's not going to show you all the responses like you will see in Flipgrid. With Screencastify, that is just for recording. So think about the shorts camera that I showed you in the beginning. That's all you get. And we blog YouTube, so Screencastify is not going to work unless you download it and upload it into OneDrive. So that's a lot of clicks. But with Flipgrid, it will work because it's hosted separately and they stream their own video. So it works. It works.
It's one of those things too, honestly, that I've found that it is personal preference, but it's not necessarily one or the other. So I know tons of people that use Flipgrid and Seesaw in conjunction. They're not, we always say it's and not or. So they're not opposites of each other or different, competitors or whatever. I know a lot of people that use Seesaw to communicate with their parents, but they actually like to send the Flipgrid links to the parents through that way. And then as well with Screencastify, I always used it before Flipgrid had a screen recording system so that I could record the videos and then upload them into Flipgrid. But now it's just, there's not the need for that additional step. So it's really just, playing around and what you're comfortable with, in no ways do I think you have to just use one.
Yes, no, I was a Screencastify lover, but now that I know that it doesn't work with students and we have WeVideo, now I use WeVideo, but now Flipgrid has this. It's just depending, what's the purpose of the video and where you're gonna put it? If you want editing or if you don't want editing, if you want responses, it's like, what's the goal that you're trying to achieve? So that's the app that you would use.
Exactly.
So oh my God, this is gonna be super fast.
Yeah, this is a super quick one.
This is super cool.
Just a couple days ago too, actually, after we had already planned for this session, I had to send Manny a text and say, we need to update the slides. We have another thing coming out. So we have a Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge extension built right in now. So you'll see in the upper right-hand corner there on Manny's screen. Yep. It's flashing right there. Yeah, I have no idea how you're doing that, and it's kind of cool. So students can just click right on there and it will ask them to enter their flip code. So that's instead of them having to go to flipgrid.com, it is just right there and they can enter the flip code and get right into their grid, which is super exciting.
Super fast. And I've submitted a ticket for Cypher people. So we are going to have this available. We're not going to push it. It's just going to be available in the Cypher store. And I believe whenever I installed it, if you click Shift F, no, Control F, whoops, no, Lord. And of course, because I'm live. Oh, there you go. It's both of them. It's not either one. It's Control Shift.
Oh, see, you taught me something. I didn't know that. Control Shift,
Control
F
Shift, and then F, it brings it up.
Cool.
You don't even have to click.
Love it.
So, okay, but that's it. I don't really have to show you anything else.
Yeah.
And the Chrome extension.
Nice and easy.
Now we have, okay, I'm gonna click on it. Why is it not moving? Okay, I'm just gonna do this.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, the disco library, it looks very, very, very different. Mm-hmm. So let's take a look and what is it that you guys have done with this disco library? It looks amazing. So look at this. If you are not
familiar with the disco library, this is a place where educators can go and either share resources or find resources. So we have over 15,000, I think we're about 15,500 topics now that were shared from educators all over the world. So different topics that they've had in their grids and thought were really great. I always compare it to, when you've had that lesson that you taught and you were like, yeah, people should know about this lesson. That was so good. So this is the place where you can go and share those. And so there's tons of topics in there and you can go in and you can search by your subject or your age that you teach and you can find ready to launch topics that are right there. So at the top, we have our spotlights. So because of right now, Yes, those are our spotlight ones. So learning from home, of course, is huge at the moment as we're all transitioning to remote learning. But then we also have some different partners, the Met, as in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, like the Met, Wonderopolis, Vocabulary, all these different companies, Epic Books, that have created free resources specifically for you. So anything that you find in here is absolutely free. And these partners have said, hey, we want to spend the time and create these topics that then educators can share. So Manny, if you'll scroll down a little bit, and we'll go to our featured disco playlist. So these are all
That's
of our
you with the
partners.
glasses.
That is me, always with the sunglasses on my head, but I actually took them off specifically for this session. So let's click on whatever one you would like.
I will do, let's do the learning from home.
Learning from home, excellent. So what's going to happen is whenever you click on that, it's going to filter specifically by those topics.
Yeah,
so you can see that there's 58 topics that we put together that we feel are good ones. So book talks and check-ins and different things that your students can use. So go ahead and click on that 3 emojis book talk for me. And so what'll happen is when you click on it, the topic will launch and you can see that there's integration notes. So those are the educators explaining, hey, here's how I would use this. Here's some great tips for you. And then you can see all of the different attachments, etc. And if you're like, yeah, you know what, I love this topic, where in the blue it says select a grid, all of the grids that you own are right there. So you can choose the grid that you want to add it to and hit add, and it's going to pop over into your grid and become a completely editable version of the topic right there. So maybe you loved something except you wanted to change the time or one little thing like that, then you can add it to your grid and then go ahead and change it.
That is, I love it. Look, you have the ads because this will add it to my favorite, right up here. My faves.
So if you click on the star above it, so go ahead and open a different topic and I can show you how to get there.
Yeah, because I have to click on the add to my
add
faves.
To my faves. Yeah, and then so if you're going through faves, whatever, if you're going through and seeing different ones, maybe you're not ready to put them in your grid yet, but you just want to favorite them, then there's a tile there that's called my faves and it'll save
it's up here,
right
here. And it tells you tap star on topics to your faves.
Exactly. Yes. There was some discretion. I think faves is spelled with an E, but they told me no, it's not spelled with an E. So
and look, you even have educators.
Yes.
One day you'll see my face there.
Different featured educators that have tons of topics that are in the Disco library. So we like to highlight different people, different times. We just had a question come in to please repeat the shortcut for the Flipgrid extension. So it was Control-Shift-F. Right?
Control-Shift and F.
Yes, Control-Shift-F.
It opens it up.
Will pop up with that extension.
Yeah, and this will be recorded. If you forget.
Yeah, you can go back and watch as many times.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, so let's see what is next.
Yeah, and we only have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, oh my God, this is so awesome. MyFlipgrid.com.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of teachers.
A lot of people don't know. I think you were just going to say that, right?
A lot of teachers don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
So if I click, and you'll have access, well, the teacher will have access to this. If you click on, whoops, I thought I added the thing in there, but I guess I didn't. So my Flipgrid, my.flipgrid.com. So this is, if you have ever recorded, well, if your students have recorded on Flipgrid and any grid, any videos, it will show up here. So this is all the, right? Because I don't necessarily own, this is the ambassadors board or tech tips. I don't own this, but I have posted videos on this grid and it shows me, I'm gonna do this one with Dan, because I don't own this grid. It tells me the video that I recorded, where's my video?
Well, so if your video will be down, so it just took you to the grid because you clicked on that. But if you go back to my Flipgrid and scroll down, your videos will be there. There you go.
So I can download
saying, hey, here's all of the grids you've ever posted on, and that's access directly to the grid. But all of your videos are below that.
Okay. Yes, yeah, I'm kind of new about this too. But this is cool. Like the students can download their pictures or their videos.
Mhm.
And if they're shy, look, they can hide them. That's so cool. This is so cool. Because usually I keep, people ask me that question, can students download their own videos? For a Flipgrid they did, I don't know, last year. I'm like, yes,
Mhm.
yes, they can.
And then scroll up to teeny bit there. Oh, wait, go back down a little bit to the very top of the where the videos are.
Oh,
There it is, yeah.
here.
Okay, perfect. So you'll see here. So it shows the views, likes, replies, but right there it says feedback. So if, as an educator, if I leave feedback for my students, they can always come right here and view them also. But important to note that the My Flipgrid is only available if you're using the school email domain. So I believe with Cypher that you guys do use
Yeah, I always recommend that.
Okay, because the student ID list, since they're not authenticating in with their email, they're just using like a 2-digit whatever, there's no way to keep track of those responses because it can vary for every grid that they authenticate into. But with the email, you'll be able to access them.
So I don't know if I'm gonna go and show a response where it shows you can leave a feedback. Let's go to one that actually
And then
has.
this will have to be the last thing we show because we're at 5:45 or 4:45.
Okay,
They're gonna
so
kick us
look
out.
here. Oh, look, there's McGinnis. Yeah, they told us they're gonna play the music with the Grammys. So here, email feedback. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, exactly. So whenever you send the feedback, it will also go to My Flipgrid and your students will be able to access it there.
Yeah, because they were like, well, they don't have emails. How do I do that?
Yep.
But this way, go to my.flipgrid.com and it will be there.
Exactly.
All right, I think the next one is, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Hey, we don't have time.
Well, I linked it in there.
Okay. So we recently just created the Flipgrid Activity Center, and so it is exactly what it sounds like, an activity center. So it's got tons of age-specific activities. So it'll give you the specific topic, it'll link to the disco library, and then it will give you like a lesson plan as well.
Yes, and then
we just got a question as well. Can students reply to a reply? Lansing, not at this moment.
they could do it with a video, like a video response, but not on a message.
Well, he's asking if you create a video and I replied to you, if you could reply to my reply, but that is not possible at the moment, but things change all the time, so stay tuned.
Yeah. So there's also, if you're a newbie to Flipgrid, I linked the educator guide. This is volume 4 because they keep changing, and IMG, I can only imagine volume 5, how thick it's going to be.
All
with
right,
all
so
the changes.
Question, can you search within the disco library? The answer is yes, you can. Keywords as well as age and subject. But Manny, we are done. We've got to finish up now, I see.
I'm sorry. Well, here's the links to Wakelet. I put a whole bunch of tweets so that you can see actual teachers using the features that I just showed you.
Yeah. And
that's it. That's all I have. You see, like I knew we were gonna be on time. Kinda. She's like, come on.
And when
all right, so
presentation, our Twitter handles are there. So reach out anytime if questions pop up.
Yes, look, I see you're now real big. Yes. Well, thank you guys for listening to our little tea time with Jess and Manny.
Manny and Jess, y'all were awesome. I learned so much during this time with you guys.
Wonderful.
And you guys make a good team.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. It was fun. I was super nervous at the beginning. I always get nervous when I present, always. And then within 5 minutes, I'm like, this is awesome. Let's do it.
Well, you guys rocked it, so no worries.
Thank you for having us.
Let's go.
Awesome. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So now that we have learned so much from the wonderful Manny and Jess, let's go ahead, and I have a question for you guys that I want to, I would love for you to participate in the YouTube chat. So now that we've kind of looked at Flipgrid, what is your favorite topic to use with your students in Flipgrid. So we are going to jump to a commercial break for a little bit and we'll be back. So during those commercials, take care of yourself, get ready for session 2 because it's going to be another good one. Make sure you participate in that Twitter challenge because we're having fun on Twitter. I know I am. I've been seeing some of the responses and they're awesome. What about you, Tammy? Have you been?
Awesome. And speaking of Twitter, we have a new challenge. So while you're putting your attendance verification, make sure you do that. Also participate in the second Twitter challenge. The hashtag for that one is CFIST EdTech Live T2 for the second challenge. So we'll see you guys back here in about 10 minutes.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Hello, welcome back.
Woo! So excited you guys decided to join us for session number 2, because this one's going to be awesome too.
It is. So before we get started, I have to tell you a funny story. One of the people on our team that is working, we told you at the very beginning, this is going to be a different EdTech Live. Well, we have Shannon. Her power in her whole house went out. So she's so committed to this event. She hopped in her car and she's now at a parking lot at a school joining us live. How's that for commitment? You got to give Shannon a thumbs up for that. Okay, so how many of you out there are in weird places right now joining us because of your internet or whatever the reason is? Maybe you have 6 different kids on your internet right now and it doesn't play. I'm curious to know, is anybody else out there right now in some weird, strange place to make sure that they're getting us today at EdTech Live?
There has to be. I mean,
yeah, let us know in the chat. I'm curious. Okay, so we have a next session up, and it's really important that you get credit for being here, because aside from the fact that you're here voluntarily and you want to be here to learn, we want to give you credit for being here. So the most important part of that is your email. So make sure your email address is entered correctly into that bit.ly that is probably in the chat right now. Just click on that little bit.ly, fill in the information that you need, then you will get credit. What happens is you'll get an email receipt within the next 15 minutes or so. It depends on how many people backlog the system. Sometimes it comes right away. Sometimes it takes about 15 minutes. But that is your receipt for being here today, and we want you to get that credit. If you don't get it, go ahead and resubmit. It's not going to hurt anything to resubmit, just to make sure that you get it. Wait about 15 minutes, and if you need to, just scroll back up the chat to go find that bit.ly so that you can get your credit. And that is your attendance verification. It's just like when you go to a professional development and you sign in, just because you RSVP'd or told them they were coming, that doesn't count as credit. You actually have to, during the live event, sign off to say that you were here. It's the same thing here. We're happy to have you. So what do we have up next, Ryan?
I'm really excited about this one. So first session was great, got us going, and I'm in the mood to learn even more. So next up, we have Julia Rivard Dexter. She is the founder and CEO of Squiggle Park and Dreamscape. She is joining us from Halifax, Canada. Yes, I said Canada. Tammy, Canada.
It's the most peaceful place in the whole world, right?
Exactly. I mean, I've never been, but yes. And here she is. She's going to talk about how to use games as a way to support instruction. So Julia, whenever you're ready, we're excited to learn from you.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. You're good.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's so great and hard to follow those two, Manny and Jess. They were amazing, such amazing energy. But I'm thrilled to be here tonight for me on the very East Coast of Canada. And thank you so much, everybody, for attending. So I am going to talk tonight about game-based learning and true video games that are helping kids improve their literacy. And I'm going to walk you through a game and what the strategies games use that really help kids learn. So I'm going to share my screen here. Just one second. Get started. Okay. Hopefully you guys can all see this here. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to walk through a presentation, give you some background to why I believe that games really can be a huge opportunity for us to capture the interest and excitement and motivation for kids to learn. And then I'm going to walk you through a game that we built to show you how some of those initiatives and games are really helping kids learn and what you should be looking for in games to help your students learn. And there's a little bit here about our remote environments that we're in right now as well, and how games can really help in those environments. So let's get started. You can see my information there. Please take that down. I should mention this presentation in its entirety will be shared with everyone. So don't feel like you have to copy any links. You'll have access to the presentation. Also, I'll be taking questions at the end. I try to do questions in between, but it just find that I get off track. So I'll leave some time for questions at the end as well. So let's get started. So something that I believe is that the time that kids spend on screens is the biggest untapped opportunity that we have for learning today. And the reason I believe this is because back in about 2014-15, we were doing quite a bit of research on reading learning using digital tools. And right around that time in 2016, Carnegie Mellon released a study that said kids are going to spend 10,000 hours video gaming by the time they graduate high school. And that's the same amount of time they'll spend in every subject if they have perfect attendance by the time they graduate. And if you let that sink in for a minute, it's just incredible to think about the opportunity we have here, because we have a parallel track of learning that's happening in the gaming kids are engaging with. And we haven't yet harnessed that to deliver really great learning content. And so I really believe that we have the potential to change the game for kids today. So our purpose at Squiggle Park and Dreamscape is to support educators by delivering the best education through the games kids love to play. And that's what we've been on a mission to do since 2016. So who am I? I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 4 amazing kids. My 5-year-old might pop in at some time. I've told her to try to stay out of the picture. I've successfully founded 4 technology companies over the years, and probably most notably, one of my companies became Google's first premier partner in North America, which allowed me to visit the Google campus on a quarterly basis and really learn how to innovate and iterate technologies that people love. I've been honored in Canada to be recognized as one of the top 50 women in STEM and as an award winner for innovation and global growth. And back in 2000, another lifetime ago, I was an Olympian in the sport of canoe kayak in Australia. And the reason that I mention that is because as a young girl growing up in the north of Canada with really probably very little clear pathway to becoming the best in the world at anything, I was able to have amazing mentors and teachers and resources and coaches along the way who really helped me unlock my potential. And I want every child to have that opportunity with amazing tools and teachers that they get exposed to in their life, because I know we can go so much further than we ever dream we can. So I'm going to talk a little bit about 2 of my kids here. My middle 2, Max and Phoenix. Back in 2014, Max and Phoenix were in grade 4, and Max's teacher identified him as a very low reader. And as a mom who cared very much about literacy, this struck me in a really, really big way. I thought I'd done everything I could to help him achieve, and the teacher said he'd probably never catch up to his peers. In fact, the next step was for him to go see a psychologist to get a diagnosis to see if there was something that we needed to really intervene with. And that would take a year on a waiting list unless we were willing to pay or able to pay, which really kind of opened my eyes to the fact that most families wouldn't be able to drop this kind of cash to be able to get their kids in to see a specialist to really support the learning that needs to happen at that time. At the same time, I had my daughter Phoenix, same age, was really excelling in school and a fantastic reader always, and probably a little bit bored and not being pushed as hard as she could have been. And I wanted to find a way to help my kids. And I knew that they were really engaged in certain games, and I just thought there had to be a way to swap out some of this junk food of gaming time with the health food of learning. And so literacy became a real focus for me. We combined forces with a team down at Florida State University at the beginning, and then over the years, several different universities to really dive deep into literacy, and more so than just literacy, how digital technologies and games can impact the development of literacy from early ages up until kind of high school level. And something that was really incredible to see was, as we're having this increase in gaming over the decade, we're having an equal but opposite correlation in the amount of time kids are spending reading. So our literacy, our reading is dropping, and that's correlating to our literacy scores, and our increase in gaming is going up. So there has to be a way to bring these lines closer together. And if we want to dive a little bit deeper into the data, you can see here that kids who are 5 to 7 years old are going to spend 66% of their time playing games on screens. This is not other screen time. This is just games. It's about 7.5 hours a week. By the time they're 11 years old, they're spending about 10 hours a week. And then that goes up again by the time they're 12 to 15 years old. And so this is just, to me, it's just an incredible opportunity. So what are the problems game-based learning can really solve? Because It's not a silver bullet, nothing is, but there are some real characteristics of game-based learning that stand out to really help some major problems that we have right now in education. So the first one is classrooms with increasingly diverse learners with a need for personalized and adaptive instruction. We have kids in our classrooms that are at all different levels of skill. You know, some of our classrooms have ELLs, some of them have kids that are super, super high readers. And we're really, really struggling in terms of capacity to give them each what they need. And technology can help here. And games specifically can help here because it really brings in the motivation to get them to encourage to push their own learning at the right pace. We're also dealing now with remote learning environments, and that's hit us, all of us, so hard recently, where every child has a very unique home environment with all different distractions and all different supports. And this requires us to be able to have tools that are going to really drive students to be their own motivators, to want to play things that are actually going to increase their learning. And we're competing against other video games. And this brings us to the last point here. Kids have a super, super, super high expectation for top level engaging content like the games that they play outside the classroom. So here we are delivering them traditional, awesome, effective traditional learning materials, but they're just not able to compete with the very, very rich, dynamic, engaging materials that they have in some of the video games they play. So before I go any further, I just want to explain a couple things. When we started our research and development, we launched our first game back in 2016, which is Squiggle Park. It's for preschool to grade 2. It's focused on independent play, so it's often used in classrooms in station rotation or in centers. At home, it can just be used for independent play. It's focused on phonemes, phonemic awareness, word work, spelling, and all the data is tracked. Now, I'm not going to talk about this program in particular today. This is a licensed product, and although it's a great product, where we're going to focus our attention today is on Dreamscape. And as you can see from the interface, it's a very sophisticated looking game. So kids, when they play, they really do feel like they're not engaging in necessarily a learning game. This is a true video game that they enjoy. Dreamscape is for grades 3 to 8. It's a multiplayer game, which is hugely important for kids in this age group because they really want to be in environments with their friends where they can compete and engage and challenge their friends. It's focused on upper elementary literacy, comprehension, and again, all the data is tracked with Dreamscape, and this is a free product. And so this is what we're going to dive in today, and I'm going to use this product to give some examples of why games can be so effective for kids learning. Really important one, because we're not talking about gamification. Gamification is very different than true video gaming, and there are lots of games or learning tools on the market today that use gamification of learning materials to deliver their content, whether it be drag and drop or some interesting visuals, but it doesn't trick kids. These are highly effective curriculum aligned games, but unfortunately, kids lose the desire to play them after a short amount of time. And when we're talking about remote learning environments, this becomes a real problem because we don't have educators there by their side really helping them kind of re-engage in these activities, and we really lose them. We're lucky to keep them on for 5 minutes before they want to go and do something else. On the flip side, we've got these amazing, really rich games that kids absolutely love, like Fortnite and Clash of Clans, which some of you might have heard of before. They're super, super, super fun and engaging, but they have no research-based learning content. And in fact, we don't think that kids are actually getting much from this in terms of being able to unlock their potential in life as a critical thinker and as a future learner. So where we fit is in this sweet spot in the top right corner. And I like to call it, for parents, I like to call it guilt-free screen time. Basically, where we fit is that we're a curriculum aligned product with proven efficacy, but we're fun and engaging, so kids absolutely love it. And there's a little kind of, screenshot there saying, what is Dreamscape? A reading program kids are obsessed with. And that for us is a huge win, because if kids are driving their own desire to learn and read, then we've really won. So why aren't more learning resources successful at engaging kids? And the answer is simple. It's hard. it's extremely hard to package up learning in an environment that kids feel is as engaging as other video games. And this is something that has taken years of research and development to get right. And part of the key of this is that we have to keep kids in their zone of proximal development. And video games do this beautifully. If you've ever asked yourself, why is this child not getting bored or wanting to be pulled away from the screen? A big piece of it is this: gaming provides the guidance and motivation to help players master new skills at the right level. So they're always provided with the chance to push their skills and do things that are a little bit unknown, but not to the point of frustration. And if they fail, they can jump back in and keep going without a sense of negative failure. It's a focus on positive failure. At the same time, they're delivered enough known content, enough known skills that they feel confident in what they're doing without getting bored. So there's a very, very fine line in the middle here where we're keeping them super engaged without getting frustrated or bored. And the way that you build amazing games for learning have to do this not only in the gaming side, but also in the content side. So in our game, we've built custom algorithms to level kids up and down in the game based on their answers in the game, to keep them in their zone of proximal development, to keep them motivated to play. And this is key to the success. And oftentimes I'll have people say to me, prove it, prove you're as much fun as other video games, because it's hard to believe. But we have done that. And we've done that by listening to kids and being in classrooms and hearing feedback and making sure that we're addressing what they are looking for in the games they play. And for me, the data that has shown this the most effectively is that 70% of the kids who are introduced to Dreamscape in the classroom have taken it home and play it on a weekly basis voluntarily. So they're choosing themselves to swap out the junk food of other games with the health food of learning. And that to me is proof that we're really on the right track. So for all the educators out there who don't feel like they're gamers, well, tonight maybe you'll learn something a little bit different. Maybe you'll start to become a bit of a gamer, and hopefully I can help you with this. So although you don't have to be a gamer to introduce Dreamscape to your kids, and in fact, most of them are going to pick it up without any kind of questions or concerns, and where you're going to be saying, oh my gosh, what is this? I want to give you a bit of an introduction to the game so that you have some sense of comfort when you introduce this to your kids. So in Dreamscape, players build their own base. So this green area that you see in the picture is their base. We call it their dwell. And in the middle of their dwell is this crystally looking thing, and that's a vision core. And the whole concept of the game is that their dreams are kept protected in their vision core. And what they have to do is build an amazing base out with defenses and resources, and they have to train troops in this base. And they're protecting their vision core from their friends trying to come in and collect shards in their base. So their goal is to build the most robust, creative, individual base that their friends can't come in and challenge. And so the first thing that they'll see when they start the game, and I encourage you as educators, if you have some time, to try it yourselves. I know there's a lot of teachers who play the game against their kids, and that can be a fantastic thing in a remote learning environment too. But the first thing they're going to see when they get into the program is this little guy, Chuck, here. And Chuck's going to walk them through a very simple but interactive tutorial. So it's actually a combination of them playing and him leading them through the game. And it teaches them what to expect as they go through and what they need to accomplish, so that they're kind of introduced right away to how to be successful in the game. And so what students love, so a part of the research and development that we worked on was to make sure that the features in the game were going to be driving them to continuously go back and play. And the features that we determined were most successful for this cohort of kids are listed here. So one of the things that kids really focus on in the game is that they're building with their Dreamweavers. Their Dreamweavers help them build the base. They're also focused on challenging. They love challenging with their troops, training their troops and going in and challenging their friends' bases. They love collecting. A lot of kids love collecting resources and having the resources to be able to add new features to their base. and finally exploring. The favorite feature for most kids is exploring, going into their friends' bases, using their class list to visit their friends' bases, and really exploring and seeing what other people have built, and seeing if they can challenge it. So what I'm going to do now, I thought it would be fun to actually go into the game and really introduce you to the play. So let's do that now. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to show you quickly what you need to do to get to the game first. So as I mentioned, it's a completely free program. So you can sign up and get your free account, and there won't be a charge ever for the data or for the learning content or for the game itself. So the first thing you'd want to do is to go to the website squigglepark.com and to the Dreamscape side of the website, and you're going to set up a free account. And by setting up a free account, this gives you a teacher account where you can add your students to that account. And there's two things you can do there. You can either add your students, first name, last initial, and that's all we need from the students, and we'll create user accounts for them. Or you can get kids to actually create their own Dreamscape accounts and then add your class code. So I'll show you where we do that. But what your kids are going to want to do, they can play on apps, free apps that they download from the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and I'll share those links a little bit later in the presentation. But if they're playing online, they're going to click on the student play button. And when they click on that student play button, they open up their Dwell. And so this is my Dwell, and super proud of it. I've built it over the series of several months, playing against a lot of kids who are playing the game. But as you can see here, this is my vision core. This is where my dreams live and where what I'm protecting. So you can see I've built all of these defenses in here, like this crackum and this snake root. And every single one of these can be leveled up. You can see this Kraken is at a level 8. Everything can be leveled up to a level 10 in the game. So I've been playing this game for about a year now, and I still haven't come close to being able to finish it. It really could go on for pretty much ever. But basically, you can see I've built this base up to protect my vision core. I have troops over here that I'm training. So I can go in and train more troops by choosing the troops that I want to train to bring into my base. But everything I do is connected to the learning content. So if I want to train troops, I have to hit this question button, and it's going to give me a question. So Michael noticed a strong odor in the air, one that he recognized immediately. It was the sour stench of a skunk. Which form of imagery do these sentences highlight? Okay, strong odor. Odor would be smell. And yeah, I think that's going to be the answer. It's not visual, auditory, tactile. We'll try this. Could be wrong. Okay, great. I got it right. So what I've done here is I've moved time forward on my base. I've added to my streaks. Every time I get a streak of 5 or more, I get a new reward box. And that's specifically designed so that kids don't rush through the content and don't guess at the answers. We know that kids are going to be a little bit less motivated to do the learning content. So by giving them reward boxes for every 5th question that they get right in a row, we're guaranteeing to at least get them to really be motivated to try to get the answer correctly. So you can see by getting that right, I got more, I leveled up certain parts of my base, I got a streak, I got more resources. And so what I can do is I can go in to my base and I can collect my resources, which is great. And then I can go into my shop and I can add a building now. I'm gonna add the only building that I have left right now. My snake root, it's gonna cost me 1,000 Mirage, which I just gained some. And I'm gonna add that there. And now it's upgrading. And it uses one of my builders to upgrade. So you can see over here where I have builders, I have 5 builders and they're all being used. I can't build anymore in my base until I finish building. And the only way I can speed up the time to finish building is again, by pulling up more questions and then answering them and getting them correct to move the base forward. So this has been an extremely important part of the design of our game, that we make sure that absolutely everything is tied back to the learning content. And that's what I recommend most for educators when they're looking at games for learning. make sure that you find games that kids can't just play around the learning content. And I think that's a common problem that developers fall into, is that they have the game and the learning content separately. They have to be completely integrated. So for instance, this green bar right here are their challenges. Right now I have 4 challenges. And the way that I earned those, for every 1 challenge I got, I had to answer 5 questions correctly in a row. And that earned me a challenge. So now I can go up to my menu, I can go into my friends list, I can see my classmates, and I can go in and I can choose one of them to challenge. I'll go in and see Cristiano, and I can challenge Cristiano now, which is a lot of fun. I did mention that kids can set up their own accounts and play and add a class. And so this menu here at the top that I just pulled down is exactly where they do that. So you can see here, kids will update their class code here, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. A couple of the other things that are really neat is that there's a leaderboard. So you can see the top players in Dreamscape around the world. You can't click into them. This is just to see what's possible. As you can see, I've been playing hard for over a year, and I've got 4,186 shards collected. And you can see the top player is 21,900. So I'm not quite close yet. And that's really motivating because it makes you want to try to get there. And then you can see the top in your class. And this is a lot of fun because as a teacher, when you have students tied to your class, they're going to be able to see the other students, their friends who are also playing Dreamscape. This is a super cool feature too for 2 reasons. One, teachers can run tournaments. So when kids are away from the classroom, whether it be on vacation for, let's say, the holidays, or in a distance learning environment, you can set up challenges and encourage your class to see who can get the most shards over the next week. Or your class can compete against a friendly other class and see which class can get the most shards. So we've worked with districts and we've worked with schools to run fantastic tournaments, which are super, super fun and keep kids so motivated to continue to read and learn, which is great. The other amazing thing about the leaderboard, and this is the one that's closest to my heart, is the fact that the leaderboard reflects the kids who've put in the most time reading and the most time trying to answer questions correctly. And this is at their own level. So you may have a grade 6 classroom and somebody who may only be reading at a grade 2 level, but they're working really, really hard at improving. They're reading a lot of passages at their level and they're answering a lot of questions. And they could be at the top of the leaderboard because they're putting in the effort. So for the first time ever, this kid who's been traditionally struggling in class and not identifying as a reader can see himself or herself at the top of the leaderboard. And it's the most wonderful thing to see that confidence built in a child who just has felt like they might just not be smart enough to be good at school. And it's a really, really special thing to see. And these leaderboards are really fantastic for that. A couple other things I'm going to show you is this little pop out right here. So every time you log into the game, it's going to give you different challenges that you can try to complete. So right now it's telling me to upgrade my Snorg. I can upgrade my Snake Root and upgrade my Crackum. And kids love keeping track of all of their achievements. And so this is all kept track in this dashboard here where they can see all the achievements that they've done. And then at the bottom of each, it shows them which ones they can still complete. And they love completing these challenges. And over on the reading side, you can see here, there's reading challenges. So can you get 10 correct questions, 20 correct questions? And my next one right now is 2,000 correct questions. And you start to get really excited about the fact that you've done this, you've achieved this over the course of the game, and it feels really, really good. And then, of course, there's rewards. So kids, when they, like I said, when they get 5 questions right in a row, they're going to get rewards. And these are all these like fun little rewards that they get in the game. Some of them are really hard to get and more epic rewards. Some are more common. And kids love showing their friends the types of rewards that they get. And one thing that we've done to encourage home play and school play is that every day that you log in, I'll show you 2 things. There's a login challenge. So every day that you log in, you collect more Aurora. And by the 7th day, you get an epic reward box. The other thing that you get every day when you log in is these two little boxes drop down onto your base. One is a daytime reward box and one is a nighttime reward box. So if I click on it, I'm just going to have to share my screen, and I try to open it, it will tell me to come back during the day to open my reward box. And this is to really encourage kids when they're playing the game in the classroom to bring it home and play it at home. So at nighttime, I can click on the nighttime reward box and open it, and it will reward me with my nighttime reward that I could only get if I was playing in the home environment, which is encouraging kids, again, to read more when they're at home, which is super, super fantastic. So I think I've covered a lot of the game, and I know it can seem a little bit overwhelming, but this is the type of thing that kids absolutely love. This is very similar to other games that they play, and they're really motivated to be able to build this space and succeed. So actually, there's one other thing that I will show you, because the kids in the classroom who might enjoy reading more, because there's always kids in classrooms who actually really love reading already. We have this chronicle, and this chronicle is basically it's like a blog for kids where they can actually get the front page news of what's happening in the Dreamscape. So the Heroes of Light bring new hope to Dreamscape. The Dreamscape levels up, and what it does is it gives you little basically little news stories for kids so that they can keep following the story of Dreamscape and what's happening. Because there is a bigger story behind this program, and it's really fun for the kids to be able to see that. So I'm going to just switch gears a little bit now. So you've seen the front-facing, kid-facing side of the program, but I also want you to measure your students' progress as they play the game. So we're going to go back to the website here. And if you press login, you're going to be given this screen. You'll have an educator account. So you'll click on the educator account, and I've already got it open here actually. And you're going to be logged right into your classes. So you as an educator can make as many classes as you want, and you can name them whatever you want. It will show you the number of students you have in each one of these classes. And this is that class code that I was telling you about. So if you copy this class code and paste it into a Google Doc, or share it however you're sharing your information with your students, they can put that into their game on their menu, and they can connect themselves to your class. You can also archive classes if you no longer are using this class, and you can refer other teachers to the program as well. But I'm going to take you into one of these classes here. So let's take a look at one of the classes and see. Oh, I'm worried that I'm a little bit worried that my internet might cause some problems, but let's see if we can get in here. Let's see. So many things running at once. But at least I'm not in my car, so that's a positive thing. So, okay, so I'm into my dashboard now, and you can see Chuck is here too. So Chuck is both on the student side, but also on the teacher side. And Chuck always has little things that you can work on as a teacher to make your account even better. So if you go in here, you can see that Chuck's suggesting that you invite a parent. Every once in a while, Chuck will have rewards that you can reward your students with in the game by completing different initiatives, which is a lot of fun too. So what you're going to see here is at first you just have a dashboard. You're seeing a kind of a high level summary of what you can see in the data. So you can see in the last 7 days, the questions that were answered overall, the percent correct in the last 7 days overall, and then the total passages read in the last 7 days overall. This is with all of your students. You can see the struggling skills. You can see the players who are struggling most, all the way up to those who are really having the most success in the program. And then you can see the attempts. So, you know, inferring has been the skill that's been attempted most, then summarizing the vocabulary. So you can see that as well. And then finally down here, you start to see the number of questions that have been answered by each student in the last 7 days, how many correct overall, and the total time. And this can all be exported to a CSV file. So for schools and districts that want the data in a CSV format, that can be done as well. On the student tab, this is simply just a place for you to add students. So if you want to create your whole class, you can simply just click on this add students button. You either, yes, they already have an account. That's what we've talked about already, or no, they need an account. So I'm going to click in this one and I'm going to create this account for my student. So I'm just going to put Julia D, and you can choose the grade level that you want them to start with. My recommendation is always to start them at either at or below the skill level that you think that they are at. So if they are a grade 4 student, but reading at a grade 2 level, you might want to start at a grade 2 or a grade 1 level, because you want to build that confidence right out of the gate. And the algorithms will push them up to more challenging content as they play. So I'll add that student and I'll create the account. And it's really that simple. That's the only thing you have to do to set up your account. So you can go in and set up an account in 5 minutes and add your students. The other thing that this lets you do is to send an invite to a parent, so you can put a parent email in there. We never communicate to parents from our company. This is only to send a letter that explains Dreamscape and it shares their child's login information. So you don't have to ever worry that we'll be communicating in any way with parents other than the one letter that they get with their child's information. And so you can see which invites have been sent. This assignments feature has been super popular, especially during this time of COVID-19, where we're dealing with a lot of remote learning. So you can either assign reading test prep assignments, or you can create a different assignment based on a skill or a theme. So you can see here that a few of them have already been set up, but I'll show you how to do that. You click create assignment, super, super easy again. You check the type. So we're gonna either do work study vocab skills, genre passages, or we have some distance learning content packs. And you're gonna choose the grade level that you want for this. And then you're going to choose what type of genre in this case you want to do. So let's say I have a few students who love fantasy, or maybe they love mystery, but let's choose fantasy. And I'm going to give them 10 fantasy passages and maybe 5 mystery passages. Then I click next, and then I choose the kids. So you can select all your kids in your class, or you might have just a few of them who really are going to respond well to this type of genre of passage. And once that's created, you're going to say test assignment. This is not very creative. You're going to set the date that you want them to start. Let's say you want them to do it next week from Monday to Wednesday. And done. Okay, so we've assigned that assignment, and we've got our kids who they don't know they're getting that assignment. They're just going to get the questions that you've assigned. So they really don't know. We don't want them to know that they've been assigned any content. We just want them to play and be answering these questions. And what's really, really great is once your students are done their assignment, you get this report. So when the time has elapsed and they're done, you're going to see how many people had correct answers, incorrect, how many students did it, and who hadn't started it. And this was a hygiene pack, and when it was meant to be answered. And you can see here specifically which student answered which questions and what they got right or wrong. And then you even see a breakdown of the questions here. So you can go even deeper here, and you can export all this information as well. Now, this is where the assignments reports live, but you can also see all of your reports on this reports tab. So you can go in and see specific reading levels of your students. You can see the skill comprehension of your students. You can see the reports for all of the assignments you've ever created here. And there's a real-time dashboard. And the real-time dashboard is really neat because it allows you to assign a specific time for your kids to be playing, and then you can monitor their progress real time. So you can actually be in the dashboard and you can be watching them answer questions in real time and offering them feedback. So I can see I've got one student playing now, that's me, and I can see that I've had 2 incorrect questions, so I can actually support them in that. So it's super fun and awesome, and gives a lot of great information for teachers who want to use those dashboards. So I'm going to quickly do a recap here. What makes a successful learning game? The game mechanics have to be aligned to the learning skill, and in our case, it's reading comprehension. The games have to encourage a sense of pride over their base. That's so important, over the game, over their base. The games have to provide continuous assessment, both for the student, and in our case, leaderboards, and for the teacher in the dashboards. They have to offer a space for multiplayer competition because kids love being with kids. And so we do that with our challenging and with our log. And finally, they have to reward kids for their achievement to motivate in really creative ways, more play. And so everything is done through reading, as we talked about, and every time they want to do something, they're driven back to that content. But I wanted to show you specifically the skills that are mastered in this program. So this is focused on higher level comprehension. So everything from theme, main character, up to the more complex skills like synthesizing and predicting, all the way through there's vocabulary and other skills that they have to master. And we talked about the adaptivity of the program, so kids can play at their specific level and be in their zone of proximal development. I'm just going to skip through here. You will have all these screenshots, so if you ever have any need to refer to them, you'll see them here. Some strategies for teachers, some tips for you to implement games effectively. So learn the game. It might take a few minutes, but it might also be a little bit of fun. So I really encourage you to learn the game and spend some time. Your kids will love you for it. They'll love the fact that you know what they're playing. They'll think it's super cool. Find your classroom champion. So if you have kids in the class who are playing games like Clash of Clans, identify those kids because they will be your champions and they're going to help other kids really get excited about the game. And they love showing their friends how they know how to succeed in the game. Run tournaments, we talked about that. That's a great way to motivate classrooms and students. Make sure to share with parents. Parents are desperately seeking video games that they don't have to feel guilty about. And this is a very unique game in that respect. Use the dashboards and education features, and then supplement the game using traditional instruction. So it's so fantastic when I'm in classrooms and I see teachers doing, let's say, a lesson on figurative language, so maybe similes and metaphors. And after a 10-minute lesson, then they'll get the kids to jump on Dreamscape because they've assigned them similes and metaphors in the game. So they spend 15 minutes practicing it that way. So great way to kind of blend your teaching and integrate both, which is fantastic. Here are the links to get the apps. I wanted to make sure that you had those. And also the link to play online. And again, it's 100% free. So every child has access to the game forever for free. There are optional memberships that parents can purchase, but they're completely optional. And 1% of parents purchasing the program allows us to subsidize the program for every other child in the world who's using it, which is a really important commitment of ours to make sure that it's accessible for all. So again, a quick link to the programs and then a link to my information here. So I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to stop the share so we can bring up some more questions. I hope I'm not too far over time. I think we've got a couple minutes here. So let's see what we've got here for questions. Okay, so Cheryl was asking if this is only for language arts. So currently, yes, this is only for English language arts. We have been working with some districts on a closed pilot that we will be releasing to the public, hopefully relatively soon, where districts and educators can actually deliver their own lessons through the game, through content packs. So that's something we're working on now, and that will allow us to expand the game past just ELA. But that's not available just yet. If your district happens to be interested in that, our innovation team can work with you and we can test that out. Thank you for that question. This is a question from Kelsey. Is there a limit of how many students can be in your class using your class code? No limit at all. You can add as many students, you can add as many classes. Please note when you're creating a class, that creates the class list in the leaderboard. So if you want kids to be grouped together in a specific grouping on their leaderboard, just make sure they're in the same class. And then a question here from Esther, can someone that is not in one of the classes a teacher creates be able to play? Yeah, anyone can play. Any student can create their own account. Any child can go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and download the app and play for free, and they can play forever for free. And if you happen to want to add them to a class at some point, they just need to go to their menu and add your class code there. So yeah, and they can play in the website as well for free. I see here a lot of positive comments. Participants are really excited about Dreamscape. Thank you so much. We're really excited about it too, and we're excited about continuing to evolve this platform to be even better for kids. So, and can this be posted to Google Classroom to share with students? Absolutely. You know, share any of this information with your students or anybody you need to. This is going to be completely open for you to share as well. We also have amazing art assets, as you can probably imagine, all those avatars and interesting art assets in the game. If you as an educator like to create your own content and create your own kind of visuals, we're happy to share some of those art assets with you too, so that you can make some fun stuff. Talk about, so there's a science, social studies, and reading articles. Tammy, can you elaborate on that question? I just want to make sure that I'm answering it properly.
No, actually, I noticed that, and this is the first time I noticed, and I've been digging around in your stuff for a while, that when you were selecting your assignments today, when you're walking through it, I saw articles from science and health and social studies articles. So even though it's technically reading, it made me realize that this isn't just limited to a language arts classroom. It could be reading in any content area.
Yeah, and that was really important to us because we heard from teachers when we were doing the research and development of this program that kids love different types of reading, different kids love different content, and that some genres are lacking a lot of options for kids. So we wanted to make sure that educators would be able to assign content specific to each individual child that was specific to a certain genre so that it could help them stay more engaged. So nonfiction, fiction, fantasy. There's even some horror passages in there that are kind of neat. So lots of cool stuff.
Okay, and also, what grade levels do you cover? Because I noticed a question about that. So I thought you might be wanting to sharing that as well.
We have some grade 1 level skill content. So for kids who are really, really struggling, or sometimes it's the ELL kids who are just learning English, they can start down at that level all the way up to grade 8 level skills. I do play quite often. The grade 8 content is very, very sophisticated. And so it gets to be quite high. So if you have kids who are older than grade 8 who are still developing their English skills, I highly recommend it. This type of game is played by even adults. Like the actual game itself stays interesting up to adult. There is a question about Spanish as well. That's a great question. We're working with a district in Canada to build out French content right now, and absolutely Spanish is on the radar too. And that's what I was talking about in terms of these innovation projects we're doing with districts. If there are districts out there or groups of educators who are interested in working with us on creating content packs specific in an area that you want to assign, we'll absolutely work with you on that.
Awesome. I actually had one more question, and I was digging around in the pilot program that you have, and I noticed that when I was creating the questions, you had the ability to have the questions read out loud. Is that a feature that you have across the board?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So the text-to-speech feature was a really important feature for accessibility. So we added that to the program as well. So that's across the board. We can do text-to-speech on any one of our passages or questions.
That's awesome. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us that you just think would just be relevant to any part of your topic?
Oh, I just think that we have so far to go. I think that there is such an opportunity, and our goal long-term is to build out a fantastic education and API. So basically to build out the platform to allow other game developers to be able to plug into this content so that kids have a choice of games they could play that all deliver this learning content. And as a mom, I would love to be able to say, sure, you can play that game, but as long as you have the education version on. So we're working on a long-term vision and a long-term plan to really give kids a new opportunity to use the games to learn.
I know that I have been so excited about what you have in your, because you've talked to me a long time about all this, and I've been really excited about what you have that you're in the development of developing, and even your long-term plans. So I think this is going to go a long way, and I can't wait to see where the end is, if even there is an end. But it's pretty exciting what you guys are putting forth.
Yeah, I don't know if there will be an end. I feel like it's a lifetime project.
It's a good project.
It is. Thanks, Tammy.
So, well, thank you so much for being here today. And there's Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you, Julia. You were awesome. I want to go play this game like now because it just looks fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
My children took it away from me, so my account is now being played by both of my children.
My daughter's account is called Coming to Get You, Mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So up next, we do have Tom Spall from Brenham ISD. He's going to share some of his top tech tools. I'm really excited about that as well. So we're getting ready for our last session of this event, but we still have one more thing for you guys to check. Oh, wrong way. That way. Check out check out the Twitter poll. Check out our last Twitter challenge.
Okay, so our last Twitter poll, and it got a little crinkle. That's the thing with moving around and not being in our office. It kind of, and I can't fix it because I'm in a room right now with I'm not even home. I don't even have a printer to fix this. So when I pulled it out, I was like, oh, darn. But anywho, I think you can read it. So our last Twitter challenge is actually a poll because we want to hear from you. So you're going to go to Sci-Fi EdTech and go find our poll and tell us what you think. So thank you for being here, and we have one more session. So I think it's time for us to take a break. Make sure that you are submitting that attendance verification. That is your proof that you were here, that you can share with your districts to say, hey, look, I learned something. So we want you to get that credit, and thank you for being here. So let's take a 10-minute break or so, and we'll see you back in about 10 minutes.
Jinx, I think. I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
said it at the exact same
Okay, last session. Are we ready?
I think so. All right. So here we are, guys. Last session. We have the one and only Tom Spall joining us from Brenham ISD, where he is an instructional technology specialist, and he often supports teachers by posting tips and tricks on Twitter. He's also part of our Fresh Thought EDU that's out there. He's awesome, and I'm so excited to learn from him. Now, make sure you do the attendance verification. Tammy, why is that important?
Because you're here and we want to make sure you get credit. So one last piece of advice, because this is our last session. If you haven't already, if you've attended 3 sessions and you haven't already received 2 emails that are receipts for your submissions, that means at least one of those did not go through, and 99.9999999% of the time, it's because your email was entered incorrectly. So maybe you hit the comma instead of the dot, or instead of net, you put ENT. I mean, it happens. So if you haven't already received 2, or at least all the sessions you attended, confirmations by email saying thank you for your submission, then I want you to go back. You got to scroll back up in the chat to go find those links and resubmit. So on that note, our 3rd submission will be right now, and it's right, wrong hand, it's backwards. It's right behind me right here. It's also in the chat that you can just click on it and go right to it. So if you haven't done that, hurry up right now, just go do that real quick so that we can give you credit. And once you have all the email verifications, you know that you're good to go and there's not a thing you need to do. We got you, because we're getting pretty good at this, that we have an automated process that will know that you've been here and will give you all of your certificates for being here. So please make sure that you have your attendance verification. I can't stress that enough, because without that email confirmation, we can't give you credit. So we just want you to know that without that, I'm sorry, so sad. So make sure you have it. I can't stress that enough. So right now,
really important.
Yes, it's super duper important. So to bring in Tom, welcome, Tom.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Welcome. And there he is. Oh, I love the background. So are you at school right now?
Yeah, I know.
I'm somewhere, yes.
Are you in your car?
No, I'm not in my car, y'all. I'm a little bit more tech savvy than that. No, I had to get out of the house. It was a little crazy then. So I'm at my tech department, yes.
All right.
Awesome.
We're super excited to see what you have for us.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. I appreciate this, and we'll just get right into this. My name is Tom Spall. For all those that don't know me, I work in Brenham ISD. I am a 6-year instructional technology specialist, and I am just excited to get going and show you some of my favorite technology tools. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you right here. A little nervous about this too, just because I've never done something live. So I'm hoping that this goes well, that everybody will like this. You can get to my my presentation at the bottom right here. It's bit.ly/Tommy's Tech Tools. And I'm just going to put all my all these links that are on here are free for you guys to grab, take, utilize. I have a bunch of templates, but literally tonight I'm going to show you my all-time like favorite tools at this moment that I'm really enjoying working with my teachers and Brenham ISD with. So to get this started, of course, my favorite tool, maybe this is like second favorite tool because my next favorite tool is coming up, but this is like one of my favorite tools from the past couple of years, just because it's so good and it keeps getting better and better. And even over the past 2 or 3 weeks, Flippity.net has gotten brand new activities that I want to show you tonight. So what is Flippity.net? Flippity.net, say that 20 times fast, is a great website with 20 different built-in activities, and all of these activities are tied to a Google Sheet. So when you go into one and you grab it, you have you have the demo, you have the instructions, and you also have the templates. So let's just go to Flippity.net so I can show you what this looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's really neat, really awesome to use. I will do one clarification, and I just saw this earlier today. Sometime they posted this right here, sometime around April 13th, which was yesterday, published to the web, which you have to publish your Google Sheet to make it your activity work for your students, to make it a web page version. It's not working right now, but they will get that fixed as soon as possible. I think it was with the newest Chrome update. So just wait for that. But I will show you what the site does. It's amazing. So at the bottom, like I said, you have demo, you have instructions, you also have template. So let me show you what one of these demos looks like. So this is the random name picker. I have a lot of teachers that love to use this in their classrooms. And it just has a demo names in there, and you can just spin the wheel. It'll pull one of those students, like Betty right there. And if I click on it again, it pulls someone else. It will not eliminate any names. So it might call on the same student more than another student. It doesn't, it just random does it. If you do want one that pulls the name out, Name Picker Ninja is a great website. Go check that out. It's called Name Picker Ninja. It kind of does the same wheel type thing, but it'll pull a name out so that name's not called over and over again. So it's great for like raffles or ending stuff like that. So check that out. What I love about this so much is not just the cool idea of being able to do that, but I love being able to have groups of 2, groups of 3. So on the fly, I'm walking around my room, I'm teaching my students, I want them to break out into groups. This is just a simple, quick way. So I don't have to write the names on the board, or I don't have to do this. You do this once at the beginning of the year, you put all your kids' names in here, you save this as a website, and all you have to do is bring this up, and I can bookmark this too. That's the suggestion I have. Bookmark all of your finished products, and this is what it looks like. Let's say I know that Gary cannot work with this group. This is just not going to be a good day for Gary. I know that that's not going to work. So I can click on Gary, and I can switch him with Jane, and I can switch just those 2 kids. So really on the fly grouping. What I also can do is I can randomize this. If I look at these groups, I'm like, oh man, this is not going to be a great day of teaching. I can click on the random button, and it'll just split them all up just like that. So, so you have those options. You can also jigsaw your groups. So what that does is it puts them in the groups that they are. Let me go jigsaw back. So you see how Kate, Spencer, Jessica, Jane, and Catherine are all in separate groups. Well, I want them all to be in one group to talk, and I want the middle line of kids to go to another group, and I want the bottom line to go to another group. So I don't have the 2 kids that were in the group A to be in group B together, if that makes sense, everybody. So if I jigsaw this, watch what happens. So click on jigsaw. It puts Kate, Spencer, Jessica, Jane, and Catherine all in their own new group, so they can have a new conversation, and I can say, okay, guys, go back to your original groups, and I can unjigsaw that and go back. They have groups of 4, groups of 5, and finally, the number one thing that I love teaching about right here is you can do the tournament bracket. It has a built-in tournament bracket, which is the best one you'll find. We always use this right now around this time because of March Madness not happening right now. But if you ever need a good tournament bracket coming up this year or next year, definitely check out that tournament bracket that they have. And it takes all your kids' names and puts them into that tournament bracket, and you can just move them across just like that. No ads, nothing like that, because when you try to find a good tournament bracket around this time of year, especially in March, you always get some questionable ads on those kind of things. All right. My other favorite activities on flippity.net are definitely the quiz show. I love this because it's a simple quiz show. It just asks the question. You can give positive and negative points. So I would ask this to the kids, click on it, show the answer. And then let's say team 1 got it wrong and team 3 got it wrong. That's very loud. And hey, team 2, you got it right. So there you go. And then when you click on it again and you go back, it gives the point totals over here. So that's a great activity. And then one of my other favorite activities on here is the Flippity scavenger hunt, which is just amazing to do digital scavenger hunts with your students. You can even set this up right now, send this to your kids on Google Classroom or however you get your links to your students, and have them do this at home. So you just click on the first one, and it's kind of like I use this two ways. I've used it as a digital scavenger hunt, and I've also used it as a digital breakout of the room type of box kind of thing. So the kids have to enter the riddle for this one. You can ask any kind of quiz questions. I've had teachers use this for star review or any type of review or quiz questions or assessment review, formative assessment. And so I'm going to write keyboard, and it unlocks my lock. I can go back, and it'll just keep going through all the locks, and it'll unlock all those. A new addition, if you're listening and you use Flippity a lot, you'll love this. You used to be able to go in any order and unlock them all, but to get to the final one, they've made it, the guy who created this website or developed this website, he made it where you have to do 1 through 7 before you can get to 8 and finish up with 8. So there is a way to turn that on in the settings if you wanted to do that. That's the new update. I also love it because you can just click on any of them and start unlocking. What's really good about this is when you're done with this activity, it'll show up a timer down here and how long it took you to go through all the locks. So I love to use this, especially at the high school and junior high level mass competition. I'm a really competitive person, so I love when they do competitions. So each group within each class will write down their time up on the board, and they're trying to see who can get through the locks the quickest. So that's really fun, but it'll be right here when you finish all the locks. All right. The newest pieces the newest activities are, they took the scavenger hunt and all he did was turn it into an Easter egg hunt to fit the Easter kind of theme going on right now. So it's the same thing, only it has Easter eggs, and it'll change to a bunny when you break out the bunny. And then this one, the Flippity, randomizer, can't even say that. When you click on demo, so this is really cool, just added recently. So it gives you a who, a what, a when, or where, and you can just edit this however you want. I can flip the wheel. So we have Luke Skywalker, yes, Star Wars fans right there. We have launching a nuclear missile. So that's the what, the when. And again, with any Flippity activity, you can edit any of these. 3 months from now, and then let's do a where. In a laboratory. So then you could give this to your kids as like story starters, or say, hey, all right, now go write a little story about this. So Luke Skywalker launching a nuclear missile 3 months from now in a laboratory. And again, any of this stuff, any of this content can be edited. Let me go back to my presentation. So right here on the right side, I gave you a full how-to of what I tell my teachers when they want to go create an activity. So to do this, all you have to do is, I'll just do this one, for example. You grab the template, make a copy. It's going to force you to make a copy. Where does that go? It goes straight to your Google Drive account. Here's the first thing I always tell my teachers, and you should just use this for anything you do. Automatically go up to the top, delete, and name it exactly what you want. I don't know how many times, I don't know who else is out there, my instructional friends, have to tell everybody, please name this. If you don't, it's going to get lost within your tons of Flippity activities that you do, and it's going to just get lost in your Google Drive. So I'm just going to call this history review. And then I can go in and I can edit all of my categories. I can delete all these if I wanted to, and I can write my question, write my answer. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom to get the link here. But there's one thing I always have to do to make sure I do this right. I have to go to File, and I have to publish to the web. Once you do all that, then when you click on this link, it's going to go to the finished website version. And what can you do with web pages? Bookmark, always bookmark. So I actually have up on here, I have a Flippity folder where I save all of my bookmarks. So any of my Flippity activities I've turned into a template, like my random name picker that I do one time at the beginning of the year, that's where I go to have that. So I can just click on it, hop into there, and be good to go. Remember, if you have to make any changes to any of your Flippity activities, you have to go back to the original sheet, which lives in your Google Drive. So make sure you name everything correct. Heck, even in your Google Drive, make a folder called your Flippity activities and then just store them all in there. All right, so that's Flippity.net. I also put on the next slide everything that you can do with that. So you have a full breakdown that I did on our website, our Brenham Tech Daily website, that you can go through, and it shows you what each activity does. And then I also did some similar websites. So Jeopardy Labs is a great website. Again, everything on this is linked. bit.ly/Tommy's Tech Tools will get you to this presentation. Sorry, I don't know if I said that at the beginning. But everything's linked so you can get to Jeopardy Labs, which is a great website. EduCandy is also another great website that we found out about last year. If you haven't checked that out, it's more for, I would say, lower grades, but it's really cool looking. It was shared by Eric Kurtz. And what that does is kind of the same thing. It doesn't work with a Google Sheet. It just, they're ready to play activities for you. So you can make your kids crossword puzzles, word search, hangman, and all these neat activities, memory games, multiple choice. But it's really fun and really kid friendly. So that's why I love EduCandy. So check that one out as well. So those are just some similar websites comparable to Flippity.net. All right. Moving on, Flipgrid. I told you at the beginning, I had my favorite tool, which is definitely Flippity.net, but I also love Flipgrid. And I know that we had two people talking about it earlier, which they did a great job and they showed you a bunch of updates. The way that I love using Flipgrid, I'm going to show you two different ways. So one of them is 2 years ago, we had a bunch of students, a bunch of teachers actually, that were asking about different ways to kind of change up the end of the year talent show. As always, the kids get up on stage, they do a thing. But we also wanted to highlight or showcase some of those talents that cannot be brought to the stage, whether it's overcoming a disability or handicap, whether it's bull riding. We've had those submitted, especially being in small town Brenham, Texas. We've had water skiing and wakeboarding and all these different things. So we sent out a Flipgrid topic and we said, all right, parents, we showed them how to get the Flipgrid app, how to record their video, and how to submit their Flipgrid talent shows. And then we took all those videos that were submitted and we put them in I compiled a video of those using Windows Movie Maker, and we showed that at the talent show. So all the kids got to show off their talents. So let me show you what this actually looks like real quick. Let me hop over here. So this is it. And so these are some of the videos that got submitted. So here's a cute video of this girl showing her cow, not a horse. Don't say it. I did not say that. Cow. This is live. So she's just showing off her cow there. We have this kid that's doing some sweet aerobatic type of moves on his trampoline because he wanted to show those off. So we took all these, wakeboarding, of course. So we took all these videos and made one video with them all.
My name is Cameron and I'm in Ms. Kotaski's class.
And kids were able to do a talent show from home. So if you think that this would be a great idea for you, please be an advocate on your campus and say, you know what? I'll take this on during the crisis that we're in right now. And I'll have parents and students submit their talents virtually. And then you can take, then you can kind of limit it to, if you get X amount of submissions, that you only take the top 20 or 30 and then compile them and show off all these talents. So definitely check that out. It's a great idea. I love doing it. I would love to do a big talent show this year virtually with my campuses as well. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong tab. There we go. All right. And another way that before I get to that second way of doing it, I also wanted to share, this is how we did our talent show handout. This is the front side and this is the back side. So you have that, so you can just copy and take with you. I don't care however you want to set it up, but that's what we sent out to the parents. We did a half page front back and then cut those in half and then shared those out. And then another way, great way to do this is summer connections. I mean, right now, you're not seeing your students all the time every day in the classroom. So now would be a good time to just hop on there, make a grid saying, I've had teachers do one that is just question time, or I needed to talk to my teacher time. So all the kids' videos are set to moderate so that they're private, just to that teacher, and then the kids can submit the video. So if it's like you're having a bad day and you just needed to talk to your teacher or send your teacher a video message, have a grid or have a topic just for that. And you can just get on there and be like, you know what, here's what I'm doing today. Or I had a question about this or something like that. And then all those videos will go straight to you on your grid as a teacher. Summer connections. We had a teacher, Heather Callis, right here in Brenham ISD. She looped with her kids one year. And so from first grade to second grade, that summer, at the end of her first grade year, she sent out a Flipgrid saying, whatever you do this summer, I want you to submit videos and just say, hey, I did this, or I did that, or here's me in Canada. We had one kid that was at Niagara Falls, or whatever trips you go on, or whatever fun things you do with your family all summer long. Wherever you go, take that and submit those to that one Flipgrid or that one topic. And it was so cool. And we could watch all the other kids' videos as she slowly moderated those and let those come out. Always moderate, especially at that age, especially over the summer. You never know what kind of content you might get. So that was a really cool activity that they did. And then also maybe at Meet the Teacher night or before, like you might see your students, have a Flipgrid or have a topic ready to go and say, have your kids start submitting on that, just saying, hey, what are some of your goals this year? What are you looking forward to? Or I can't wait to see you. And no, all these things I'm talking about are not just, I'm elementary, I work at pre-K through fourth, but this is great content that you can do for junior high kids. I've seen middle school kids, high school kids. They love doing this kind of stuff and building those connections with those teachers. So don't be afraid that this is not for you, because this is totally for you. Okay. So just a couple Flipgrid ideas. And by the way, quick plug while I have a chance, this is my cute family. Just wanted to share that out. All right, whereby.com, next tool. Now, I know a lot of you are doing some connecting with your students. I know that we're connecting with our team members, our administration, different people using video chats. I know that I'm using Zoom right now, love Zoom. We also have Google Meets, that's a big one. Skype for those Microsoft people, love using Skype. So a lot of these different ones. I have always used this. Now, before it was called whereby.com, it was actually called appear.in. So it's been around for a long time. The reason I love to use this, okay, is that my mom does not have a Microsoft account. She does not have a Gmail account. She does not want to deal with the whole Zoom type thing. She wants a very simple way to video chat with my family. So that's whereby.com. What it does is you can set up one room. So it's like a private chat room. And what happens is you set it up and you can custom name it. So mine is whereby.com/spall. Very easy to get to, but you probably can't get into it if you're trying to do it right now because it's locked. So you can lock or unlock your room as you wish, as you want those people to come into your room. And all I have to send my mom on her Yahoo account is a simple link. It's that custom static link. I also put that link on my email signature. I put that link on my outside my conference door, my tech office doors. So whoever goes to that link, I can say, hey, teacher, so-and-so, I want to meet you at 3 o'clock in my room, in my digital room at whereby.com. All they have to do is go click on the link and they're instantly in. They don't have to sign in. They don't have to do anything weird. They don't have to make an account. They can simply just get in with that static link. Why is this cool? Well, as the person that owns that room on the free account, I never get paid. You can unlock that room. You can send out that one link to whoever you want, whether they have any kind of account or not. And I will not kid with you. It is the best video graphics or like the best visual that I've seen. This is also how Meredith Akers and I, shout out Cypher Redhawks. Is it Red Hawk? Rennell Elementary. This is a great way that you can do this and videotape. So we screen record us next to each other on a PLN. And so let me show you what this, oh, nope, no, going over here. So this is my whereby.com. So you can't see my video right now because I'm also on a Zoom. So that's why it's being taken up by that. But this is where you have your camera and your mic. And then over here is where your guests can be. You can have, in this room, you can have up to 4 different visitors, 4 different cameras, which is great for small groups. It's great for small chats. I can lock or unlock my room. I can record the whole thing. I can do a chat. I can share. Why do I like this more than Zoom sometimes, or why would I use this more than Google Meets? Because it's so simplistic. It's so easy to use. If you just want to hop into a quick chat, I just got to meet with a friend real quick. This is a good way to do it. Small group discussions. I've also seen a lot of teachers use this for parent-teacher conferences. So you and another teacher or you and a parent get on this. You just say, hey, I want you in my room at 3. Next parent, I want you in at 3:30. Next parent, I want you in at 4. And so they just sit in a waiting area while they're waiting outside your digital room. And so you can tell the parent you're with now and be like, okay, I have another person waiting. So they're trying to get in. And that person, it's called a knock. So they knock to get into your digital room. Great for teacher office hours. So if you're doing office hours right now, just say, okay, I'm going to have this open from 2 to 4 and just have open office hours so you can lock or unlock or let people into your room when they knock on your digital room. All right. So that's whereby.com. It is great. This is what it looks like. I took a screenshot, so you have that. Definitely check that out. All right. Communication tools. Here are my 4 favorite communication tools. I don't know if you've heard of Backchannel chat.com. It's been around for a while. I love it. I used to use to have chat rooms in my classroom. I used to use Today's Meet. That went away like 3 years ago. That was a great tool. I kind of compare Backchannel chat.com to kind of like like an AOL type chat room. So that's kind of where we have that. So if you click on it, let me go into it up here. I think I already have it open. No, I do not. So when I click on it, you can start it up for free. My name. This is as easy as it is to get into it. We'll just kind of call this practice and start. And this is what it looks like. So this is the chat room. It's a simple chat. I can type down here. I'm the teacher, so I'm the moderator. I can moderate this room too. I can lock or unlock. I can also share this room out. So to get my kids on, all I have to do is share this out, which I did earlier. And now where did it go? Wow. I don't know where my share setting went for this room. So you guys are all probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Why is it gone? I'm looking. I will get back to that. That's a great question. Maybe because I joined as a student and not the actual teacher of this room. That might be because it's not letting me share this room. But in your settings, you do have the share option to share this out. I just don't see that share message right now. But this is backchannelchat.com. Don't be alarmed that I can't find it. It's there. I was just in it. I just did this a couple of times today with other people. So I don't know where it went. So try as a teacher. Let's try again. Room 1. Start. Oh, here, send to students. Wow. Couldn't find it. So it's right here. So I can just take that and I can share that with my students. Again, Google Classroom or links, however you get that to your students. And you can just send them that and that gets right to that and they can go right into the chat and be on there. So sorry I don't have that shortened. That would have been cool for you guys to hop in, but this is just a great way. So you can do this and have a chat. This is also good just to use in your classroom. We've done book studies on it. We've done talks about it. You can lock and unlock. So if I click on the lock up here, it'll lock out the kids' comments on here so they won't be able to type in the bottom part. You can also moderate every comment that comes through from your kids. Padlet, another great one, Padlet. I love Padlet. It's a great tool. It's been around for years. It dwindled off for a long time because they kept it static as it is. Thanks, McCorkle, for saying doing great. So they didn't have a lot of options that you could do, but now if I try to add something or add a file or here we go. Thank you. So if I wanted to add something in Padlet, it's kind of like a digital board that you can get into. If you want to join this, if you're following along and you want to hop on Padlet, it's bit.ly/EdTech Live Padlet. So you can join up. But on here, you can upload, you can do links, you can do Google, you can take a snap from your camera, you can film, kind of just like Flipgrid. You can do a voice, MP3, you can screen record, you can draw, you can do so many different things and add that to the Padlet. And this one is set up as a grid. You can change out how it looks. You can do like a free flow thing or anything like that. But this one is a really good one to let you use that in those kind of ways. So you can just check that out and enjoy that. Mentimeter is another great website that I love to use. So when you're in a Mentimeter, you can set that up. And what it is just a way to ask questions and stuff like that. So I set mine up. This is what my Mentimeter looks like. So it's great for asking kids questions, doing anything like that in your classroom. Great for formative assessment as you're going around in your class. You can also check out different examples. They also have themes. And then they also have different ways that you can set this up. Different types. They have open-ended questions, multiple choice, word cloud, image choice. So for this example, I'm just doing open-ended. And then you can see I asked my question, what's something you've learned tonight? And then when I'm ready to present this to my class or my meeting that I'm in, I can just go to present. It just pops up on the screen. So if you want to as well, you can check this out. This is www.menti.com. You can use the code 393754 and definitely check that out. So if you like that one, that's a really fun one. And then if anybody wanted to get on here, don't leave me the only one. Nobody's hopping in. It's also a delay, by the way, from when I'm talking to when you guys have seen this. So, but you just tell your students, go to www.menti.com. You can do this from a phone, from a Chromebook, from any device. Yes, I have a reply. Mentimeter is the best. Thank you. So you can definitely check that out as well. I'll let you guys follow along because I hope that more people will pop in there as well. I love to use it for their word clouds that they have. It's really cool like that. Oh, configure, sorry. Nope. There we go, type. So they make really cool word clouds. They have scales so you can rank things. Image choice, so for the lower grades, you can do image choices too. Q&A, they have question and answer. So I just love to use it. It was originally built for like more of like the business sector, and then they slowly started merging with the education. Now we have so many teachers and presenters at big conferences that I use in Mentimeter.com. So definitely check that out. Padlet. Oh, I love Padlet. Padlet's so good. And there's so much stuff you can do with Padlet. Yeah, where I saw someone over here. Sorry, I'm not following the chat very well, but someone said, as of right now, Zoom is what the district has decided to use. Great. Don't let me take away from anything you're using. So if you want to use whereby.com for personal use for video, that's fine. Hook it up with my mom. She is not the best tech savvy person. So clicking on one link to hop into a video chat is easy. So don't let me steer you away from what your district is already doing, which is good. They should be doing what your district tells you to do. I'll make that old grandpa. All right. Also, my last tool on here that I really like to talk about for communication is Google Classroom. I don't know how many times I can tell teachers, if you're not using Google Classroom and you have access to use Google Classroom, use Google Classroom. It's awesome. We use Google Classroom in our district for most of our grades. At the elementary levels, we're definitely one-to-one with Chromebooks. So we have second, third, and fourth grade using Google Classroom religiously every day because it's awesome. Lower grades, I've seen other people love Seesaw. Seesaw is amazing. And there's what's the other tool? I forget the other one. There's a couple different types of tools that you can use that are like LMSs, but not really LMSs. But Google Classroom, just love it for pushing out assignments, communication. That's the main reason I have it up here, is you can have a chat within your Google Classroom. Just a great tool to use. I just always like to remind people that it's there. It's awesome. All right. Templates. I know I'm showing you guys a lot of stuff. I hope that it doesn't become too overwhelming, but I want to show you as many things as possible that you guys can use right now or take back to your classrooms when you get back into those things. So here we go. So templates. So I have this linked right here that you can go to our choice boards and digital menus. So again, this is on our Brown Tech Daily blog that we use as a team. I'm on a team in my department with Troy Kuhn, Brittany Knabel, and myself. They are amazing ITSs. Definitely check them out and follow them on Twitter. That's a plug for them. They're phenomenal people to work with. So here are some choice menus that I've made. The first one I have is like a behavior tracker that I had a teacher ask me about. She wanted something in her classroom where she could just have up on the smart board or the digital board at the front of the room. And she just wanted to be able to just click on a keystroke and have something move that the kids work towards. So let's say they stay focused on an assignment for like 20 minutes. Okay, we're going to move whatever it is on that slide, one click. It's kind of like the old school that you give like check marks, like check mark. Oh, good. You guys earned 10 check marks. Well, it's kind of like those are my behavior trackers. So definitely check this one out. This one is like you have to build a snowman. So, and I have how many moves it takes to get there. So I had this one's like a 10 move. So one move, and then you guys are doing another good thing. So 2 moves, and then 3, and then slowly throughout the hour or lesson or day, however long you want it up there, the kids slowly get to see their thing get moved. This one is a baby Yoda. So he moves across the thing. There's a football one, a baseball one. So definitely check those out. Those are fun. I've had a lot of teachers use those, and you can also use those just for one student. If you want that student to work towards something, put the template on your screen, and then as that student does a good job at something or meets certain requirements or does whatever they need to do in class, you can just move their little avatar or whatever I have on there over. So the next one I have is my Fortnite menu. This has great ideas on, it's all set up for you. It's a template. I have it all worked through. All you have to do is go check it out. And I have it linked to like different digital tools that students can use. And it's fully editable, if that's a word. And you can edit it with whatever content you want. I have a student choice board. This is really good for the kids in class. You can edit this however you want. So they have to write their time that or date that they finished it, whatever task you want them to do. It's a fully editable choice board that the kids can have. And then each of these little arrows can be moved and dragged and dropped onto each square. So when the kid finishes something, you can drag it and drop it onto that for that student. And my original first menu that was featured in Shake Up Learn, Casey Bell's book, is my digital restaurant menu. I love this. It takes you to different entrees, appetizers, beverages, different activities that the kids can go to. Again, you don't have to use any of those activities. You can switch them all out, but that template is already made and there for you. So just use it and enjoy it. And it's all free for you guys. I don't need anything for that. All right. And then Wakelet. Not going to get into Wakelet, but I love Wakelet. If you guys have not seen Wakelet, it's a great tool to make a lesson, built-in lesson for your students. So if I have all these videos from YouTube and I have all these websites I have and Pinterest posts and Twitter posts and all this different stuff from all around the web, I can take all of it and put it into a nice Wakelet board. And so I gave you our presentation that we talked to teachers over in February, tools and strategies we love from TCA, because Wakelet was one of the best tools we learned. And then I have a Wakelet video that shows you what Wakelet is. And then research projects that you can do with Wakelets, digital portfolios, curriculum resources is a great Wakelet. Those are all Wakelet templates that you can check out. And then this is the one I wanted to show you. So this is from Jolie Boucher, who is amazing on Twitter. Definitely follow her as well. But this is her Wakelet that she created while she was at TCA. So she spent all her time learning new tools and new strategies and gathering all these templates for you. And it has 164 different items in it of all these free to use templates. Y'all, you don't need to go to Teacher Pay Teacher to get all your lessons. You have it all right here already for you. Newsletters. I love this one. This one's a Harry Potter newsletter template. Really cool for my ELAR teachers that want to do like a Harry Potter theme. Lotto scratchers. You can go get Lotto scratch for your kids. You can get the stickers off Amazon. You can go whole roll that are really cheap. If you've never done this, do it. So that's the template that you can edit whatever it says behind the sticker. So you make that, you print it off, you take the stickers, the Lotto scratch stickers, you stick them on, and then you give that kid like a Lotto card for like incentives or for doing a great job or just to do something cool. And then they scratch it away and they can have a prize or not wear shoes for the day or whatever you have for incentives in your classroom. Choice boards and learning menus. So that's all on Jolie Boucher's Wakelet, which is really cool. And then you also get to see how Wakelet is set up, which is really neat. All right. Last one before I get to the bonus tools. I don't know how much time I'm going to have for the bonus tools. I might have to hurry up really fast. I also want to do some Q&A with you guys. So the last thing I really wanted to talk about before I let you guys go, you guys can have all the bonus tools at the bottom of my presentation because it's all there for you. So digital whiteboards. So this is another one of our Brenham Daily Tech blog posts, but it has a bunch of my favorite digital and digital whiteboards that you can use right now. So I have Buncee. Educreations is amazing. I liked using that back in the day when I was using an iPad. That was really fun to use with an iPad. AutoDraw is one of my favorite tools. What it does is you can just pull in. Let me actually show you what that does real quick. So if I go to AutoDraw, so I already was practicing on here. What AutoDraw does is pulls from Google Analytics. So I can click on my AutoDraw marker and I can just start drawing on here. So let's just say I'm not the best drawer, which I'm not. I'm not a good drawer. So I'm just going to do this. I'm doing this with a pencil, by the way. This is much easier if I had a touchscreen Chromebook or something. And I let go. It's going to start pulling up at the top what it thinks I'm trying to draw. Yes, this is exactly what I was trying to draw. Cowboy shirt. So I was trying to draw it. So it'll pull from that. So my kids love to use this in Brenham ISD. The students in Brenham ISD love it because they can just do that. Let's try to draw a dog. That never usually comes out too good. That's my dog. There we go. That's exactly what I was trying to draw for y'all. So that's the AutoDraw. It's a fun digital whiteboard. Works really well in the classroom. Some example, I threw that example on here of that digital whiteboard. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. So in our class, we did this assignment where they had to create a water cycle. And so they were going through the water cycle, and this is just one of those examples. And then they had to label it. So once you start drawing, if you know how it's coming out, you can have Google AI pull from the top and go in and check those all out. Oh, thanks for the comment. I just looked at Tommy. You are such an awesome presenter. Thank you. I'm still really nervous. I don't know why. I have like 5 minutes left. Oh man, classroom screen. Classroom screen is, I skipped over a couple because Jamboard isn't allowed in a couple districts. I've never actually played with it. I know it's out there. Some school districts, especially on Twitter, I have a lot of teachers that love Jamboards. So definitely check that out. It's a Google product. All App is a great, I skipped All App. All App is a great digital whiteboard. The reason I love All App so much is because it's collaborative. So you can get in there as a student, start your All App digital whiteboard, and start following along in class and doing math problems or doing whatever you want on your whiteboard. But you can also invite another student as a collaborator to your digital All App whiteboard, and then you guys can work together on the same thing. So we've done that in Brennan IC where we've done math problems together. So one kid will be on one side of the room, the other kid's on the other side of the room, and they just have to go back and forth and trying to solve different math problems that they ask each other. So that's really fun. Jamboard classroom screen. If you have not checked that out, check that out. It took me a long time to load tonight, but I do have it somewhere up here. You guys are going to go through all my stuff. Oh, here it is. So here's classroom screen. It's great. It has sound levels, noise. A lot of teachers at the beginning of the day, they walk into their classroom, turn on the computer, open up classroom screen, and that's how they do it for the day. They put their TEKs for the day or objectives, whatever you guys have in your state. They put them up on the board. They have a timer. They also put up a clock. You can move these all around. They do the traffic lights in the lower grades, or a great Chromebook procedure is, okay, you have to close your Chromebook. Okay, you can 45 your screen, but don't play with it yet. Just have it on the ready, or green. Okay, now you can use your Chromebook. So there's different ways that you can use that. And text, drones, QR codes, all that cool stuff. So definitely check that out as well. The reason I'm also showing you classroomscreen.com is because you're gonna see a message that pops up here. They are so close to updating all of classroomscreen.org. They're having a huge update soon. When? I don't know, but I know it's coming really soon. So be watching for that. If you are a classroomscreen.com user and you love to use in your classroom, check that out. All right, I'm going to have to wrap up soon. Last couple things before I finish. Digital math manipulatives. Guys, I put these on here for you. These are my favorite math manipulatives. These are from Glencoe. I love using these math manipulatives. You can select by grade. They have up to 8th grade on these manipulatives. They're great. I just like saying the word manipulatives. I can say it over and over again. They have work mats, which I really think are really great. And you can just throw one in, equation chart. You can also do like pre-kindergarten. And I love this one the most. They have backgrounds. So they have different work mats. Nope, it's not backgrounds. It's the manipulatives. They have, the bears in the boat. Here you go. Bears in the boat, y'all. Take your boat, put your boat in. You can take the bear and sit the bear in. Where's all my pre-K and kindergarten teachers? Yeah, all right, great. Oh man, I'm sure you guys have been asking tons of questions, but I'm sure I've missed all those questions. Which I'll get caught up in a second. And then so definitely check out all these. These are all linked right there for you. Mathagon has some awesome math activities that you can do. Math Learning Center manipulatives are great. Math Playground is something I just found out about. It has a lot of great activities. I love the multiplication chart. I have teachers ask me about this all the time. I need a good multiplication chart. Well, there it is for you. And then I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to stop in a second. And I want you guys to check out all my bonus tools. Classroom Q, go check it out. I also gave some suggestions of other things you can use for Classroom Q. If you want to use Classroom Q right now, you can. I know it's more for the classroom, Classroom Q. But if you have, let's say you have a Google Meet with all your students in there and you're actually teaching a digital lesson right now, have Classroom Q on another screen or another tab and have your students in there. So if they have to raise their hand digitally or ask a question, have them click on Classroom Q assistance needed and it'll ding in your ear or on your computer and you'll know that someone has a question, a digital question. So you can mute all your students, present your lesson, and then have them using that. So Chrome extensions, here's my favorite, PhotoFunya, GameKit, Quizlet Live. I just have a lot of bonus tools just for you guys to soak up and check out. that ran really fast. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. I think this is the time I'm supposed to do that.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to fly. I was flying. I didn't want some crazy questions.
So we did have a few questions if you have like a minute to spare so you can answer these real quick.
I have all night long.
Oh, awesome.
Not that long.
Okay, so the first one is, does Padlet have, is it limited or is it unlimited? Like the number of walls that you can have?
That's a great question. It used to be 5. Last time I checked, that was last year when I checked the limitations on there. I'm not really sure. I can check in on that. Yeah, I don't know. It was 5. I would say 5, but if someone else knows and answer that question, definitely check that out.
Awesome. And then is Wakelet similar to Symbaloo?
Yes and no. Yes, as in, like, I love Symbaloo. Symbaloo also has a lot of ads in it at times. Symbaloo is also sometimes a little wonky to try and connect all your websites. Symbaloo does a good job of, you can see all those websites in one page and in one site. Wakelet does more with like social media posts. It's more like a s'more, like more of like a newsletter, but it's more in depth because you can easily add that stuff. A s'more is great. A s'more page is a great newsletter, but that's if you're trying to make more of a formal newsletter. I would definitely use Wakelet if you're trying to just like grab all these different things and put it into like a resource board for your teachers so they can see it in a different light. And I didn't show it, but the way that Jolie Boucher has hers is like a linear vertical view, but you can have yours spread out where it's all over the place, like a grid view. So that looks really cool too. You can also do like area. So you can do text, all your YouTube links for that lesson, and then another text. So it's really cool how it's separated too. So I don't know. It's like comparing apples and oranges, but we found out about Wakelet at TCA and I'm obsessed with it kind of. So
awesome. There are so many good ideas that you shared tonight. Like so many things are spinning in my head of just fun things to do with students even now, not waiting until later, but now that could be done tomorrow.
Yes, the things I tried to show is some great things that you can definitely 100% take all these back to your classroom. But some of these right now, like while we're in this mode of different learning, for a lot of us, is just try out. This is okay. Can I do a quick little off my soapbox? Y'all, this is your time to try digital tools. Just get in there, check out any of these digital tools and like just use them with your kids and just have fun with it. That, oh my gosh, yes. Right now is like your chance to like be puppeteer, puppet master.
Yes, I agree.
Good. Excellent.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening, Tom. It was awesome looking at the YouTube chat. So many people are inspired and are ready to get going with some of these tools.
Excellent. Don't forget, if you want this presentation, it is bit.ly/Tommy's Tech Tools. And I know I'll share it on Twitter, but anything on here is free. And I want you guys to just have it and take it and just use it.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. It was good seeing you.
You too. We'll see you at another time.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do this again someday.
Yes.
And his link should be also in the YouTube chat. So before you kind of close up there, Miss Ryan, there's something that I think I need to address. It came up in our YouTube chat as to what tools are approved in our district and what tools are not approved in our district. Now, we serve a wide variety of educators, both inside and outside our district. And so sometimes tools are shared that are amazing tools. And in your district, they may or may not be approved. And some of the things shared by presenters outside our district may not always be approved by people in our district. So keep that in mind when you're trying out new tools. Check out with your technology support, which is our team, or your technology liaisons on your campus to see if that's something that you're allowed to use before you delve too far into them. Now, I also wanted to share with you the our actual channel that we have. So hopefully you've been here tonight. So if you want to find us again and you want to watch some of our archived videos, go ahead and go to YouTube and just type in the search box EdTech Live for CFISD or CFISD EdTech Live. And you'll notice that this is our event that we're having right now and it's live. But these are other events that we've had in the past as well. So you are more than welcome to go back and watch any of the other events that we've had. They're posted. They're here for your pleasure. They are not something you can get credit for at this point because this is a live event. So only people that come to the live event can get credit. But you are more than welcome to see what other fun stuff that is available for you. When you click on these events, so I'm going to go ahead and click on tonight's event. And when you scroll underneath them, you can see, hold on, give it a second, it's spinning. The
nice Jeopardy music.
Yeah, there we go. All right, I don't know why oh, there it is, voila. Okay, actually I do know why. The internet is being bogged down by everywhere. Come on, there we go. Oh, I lost it. What is my screen doing? Anywho, I don't know what my screen is doing. Underneath there is a description. And after the event, I put the posts of the actual videos. Let me try clicking on another one. It's not live. Maybe it'll come up a little faster. But underneath it, you can see that there are links underneath it that will jump to each episode. So this one was it looks like our February event. So when you scroll down on it and I click show more, come on. When you click show more, you can see that if you want to just watch Kendra's, you click and jump right to her event. Shannon's, she did an awesome job on Classflow. If you want to just see that when you click there. And Chris Shiner, he closed out last time. If you just want to see his session, you just click right there. So if you would like to watch specific sessions from a specific event, you can do that by just going down to the details part and clicking on it. So again, thank you for joining us. We're so glad to have you this time. And we were hoping to bring everybody in, but
I mean, this is, I'm not gonna lie, Tammy. Y'all, this is our last EdTech Live for this school year. I'm kind of sad. This has been fun.
It has been fun. It's been a great year. So we will see you back in the fall.
Yes.
With even better tools, right?
Always, because I mean, you can always take what's already out there and learn more and do more with it. It's just so fun. That's why I love technology.
And I have to give a special shout out to our team because like you said at the very beginning, we are all over the place right now. Not everybody is even in the city of Houston because not everybody that works in our school district actually lives in Houston. So we have people as far as Tomball and you were in Hempstead. No, you're in Hockley. I lied.
I'm in Hockley, yes.
Yes.
Not as far out in the woods.
True, but we have people literally everywhere supporting this event today to make it smooth, and I think everybody did a great job despite all the challenges. So shout out to our team.
Yes, our team rocks, y'all. We have some of the best coworkers and friends that I think are out there just because they are so supportive and helpful with all of this.
We are, and thank you for our presenters coming in from literally all over North America as well.
Yeah, it was crazy having Julia in from Canada.
Yeah, those Canucks, man, they're invading everything.
I know.
All right, so thank you everybody, and we will see you next fall.
Yes, y'all have a wonderful evening.